1 2 1 2. You got anything, Kyle?
He's got it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear it. Yeah.
welcome to a frigid Wolverine Stadium as the Windham Whippets come to town to battle your Griswold Wolverines in an ECC small division matchup. At this time, we will have our senior ceremony for the football players and the cheerleaders. First, we will start with the cheerleaders. Our first senior cheerleader is Paige Briggs, escorted by her mom, Cindy Briggs. Next, we have Brianna Hogan, escorted by her parents, Tammy and Tom Hogan. Next, we have Denia Holmes, escorted by her parents, Betty and David Godlewski. Next, we have Sydney Hungerford, escorted by her brother, everyone's favorite, Ryan Hungerford. Next, we have Emily Leslie, escorted by her parents, Karen and James Leslie, and her sister, Julia. Next, we have Lexi Robillard, escorted by her mother, Melissa Vaines, her stepdad, Kevin Moore, and her grandparents, John and Erica Hansen. Next, we have Andrea Sherman, escorted by her parents, Shannon Whitney and Matthew Sherman. Next, we have Megan Staniski, escorted by her mother, Melissa Staniski, and her sister, Sam Staniski. And last but not least, we have Gabriella Withy, escorted by her parents, Jill and Ed Withy. And now on to our senior football players. First on our list is Carl McDonald, escorted by his mom, Rose Murrenville. Hope I'm saying these names correctly. After high school, Carl plans to be a sports journalist and sports commentator. Maybe he could start right at Wolverine Radio. Next, we have senior Zach Tatro, escorted by Christine and Troy Tatro. He's been a 3-year starter, co-captain with the varsity football team, and he hopes to play football in college and pursue a degree in criminology. Next up is Nathan Yetton, escorted by his dad Jeff and brother AJ. He's been a 3-year starter for the football team, and he plans on joining the United States Marines. Next up is Dane Taylor, escorted by his dad Larry Taylor, his mom Liana Minarski, stepdad Mike Minarski, and grandfather Ronald Whitcomb. He plans on attending Three Rivers for construction management. Next up, we have Devon Ludy, escorted by his mom Jennifer Ludy, sister Brianna, and head coach Mr. Greg Wilcox. He was an all-ECC wide receiver last year and would like to continue playing football in college and maybe joining the service at some point in his life. And last but not least, we have Bryce Molesky, escorted by his mom, Heather Sagamano, and dad, Rob Molesky. Bryce was a 4-year starter. He would like to attend a 4-year college and play baseball. Good luck to all our senior cheerleaders and football players. Thank you for your service and your dedication to our athletic programs here at Griswold High School. Thank you and good luck tonight. Griswold Wolverines won the toss but deferred. Windham will receive, and Windham will be defending the south end zone. The Wolverines will be defending the north end zone. Which is which? To the right is the north, to the left is the south. Okay, at this time we're going to turn it over to the Griswold High School Chamber Choir. Thank you. Okay, nice job as always by the Griswold High School Chamber Choir with the national anthem on this Veterans Day weekend. Happy Veterans Day weekend to all the veterans out there and to all our members of the armed forces. Okay, we do have a car with the lights on in the parking lot. It's a Nissan Altima 170YBS. Once again, we have a car in the parking lot with the lights on, Nissan Altima 170YBS. Thank you.
Didn't even go 10 yards and he bumbled it. It's possible that we just picked up the ball. We did.
Did that go 10?
Yeah, it just barely went 10 and Devon Louie came up with the...
Onside kick, and the Wolverines get the bounce, and they will start first and 10
Okay, you're good, dude.
at midfield.
All right, have fun.
Boy, that ball barely went
Okay,
10.
very good.
Hey.
All right, bye.
Okay.
Oh, you are? Okay. So we're not on the air, but we're on the stream?
Yeah, I'm doing everything I can. This laptop is
Right.
just like...
So let's just start calling a game. If we're on
Yeah.
the stream, then we can at least do that.
All right, you're on in 18 seconds.
Okay, then we'll wait. Good evening, Wolverine fans, and joining live coverage of tonight's contest between the Griswold Wolverines and the Windham Whippets. We're joining the game underway. The first play of the game was an onside kick by E-Dog himself. The ball went 10 yards on an onside kick. Hit the Windham Whippets, bounced off. Devon Luty picked up the ball, so our boys are getting the possession even though they lost the toss and had to kick the ball, so they just ran their first play. A big pass downwind that was incomplete, so we're joining the game in progress. 0-0 is the score, 10 seconds off the scoreboard. 2nd and 10 as Koziel goes to the shotgun, or to the line of scrimmage for the second play of the game. And he's going to hand the ball off to Devon Luty, who's running to the left-hand side of the ball, met by the Whippets for a gain of about 3 to 4 yards. And so here we go. Welcome aboard. Tonight's game is being covered, of course, by Wolverine Radio. Mike Minarski is our producer. My name is PJ Pastor Josh, and I'm joined tonight with my friend Sass from the sideline, who is not on the sideline tonight. Welcome aboard, Sass. Thanks for joining me tonight here in the Griswold Pride press box.
Yeah, it should be an interesting night. This is going to be an interesting game for Griswold. They do need this win. These actually next two that they have to play, the next one against Plainfield. So it should be an interesting night tonight.
Bryce Molesky on that run to the right-hand side of the pile, bringing the ball about a yard, maybe two. It's not going to be enough to convert the first down. Let's see what the Wolverines decide to do here with their first possession of the game. 4th and 4. The ball is currently spotted in the Whippet territory at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, it was a great. It was two great runs, one from Luty and one from Bryce Molesky, getting that ball up the field. And like you said earlier, we might not see that pass game because of the wind and temperature outside.
Field conditions right now, 30 degrees with the wind. It feels like 20. They're going for it on 4th down. It's a handoff to Devon Luty coming this side towards the press box, looking to contain the end, gets hit, dives, and is shoved out of bounds. Folks, that's going to be close to the 40-yard line, which is where the ball needs to go to convert that 4th down. Sean, I think he's short.
Yeah, he was looks like he's just about half a yard short. They are not going to take it out to measure it, but yeah, he was half a yard short. Oh, actually, they backed it up now a little bit. So he was about 1.5 yards short from the first down that they needed.
So the Whippets are going to take over on downs from their own 42-yard line. Boy, I tell you what, the big change tonight, and we'll talk a little bit about how the teams compare against each other here in a moment as we get caught up as we move through the broadcast. But the big story tonight so far anyways is the cold. It is brutal. We're looking at bleachers here with maybe 10% of what we normally see on a Friday night game. The Whippets running that ball to the right-hand side, and lots of rustle and tussle. But, Sean, I only saw a couple-yard gain on that play.
Yeah, it was a couple yards, but the offensive line was pushing those defenders back and trying to get that opening, but they just couldn't. The defensive line stopped them right there.
2nd and 8 for the Whippets, 0-0. 2 minutes have ticked away in the first quarter of the game. Of course, it was a pretty exciting start for us. We had an opportunity that we were not able to capitalize on. E-Dog 10-yard onside kick that Griswold recovered on the kickoff. 4 and out, however, for the Wolverines. Whippets 2nd and 8 from their own 44-yard line, looking to run the ball up the middle. Flags all over the place.
False start on the offense.
It sure is. That's exactly what the ref just whistled and gestured. So they're going to walk it back to our left, radio left, back into Whippet territory. The ball's new spot is now the 39-yard line. So, Sean, that's going to be a big factor tonight. These boys have not played in this kind of cold and wind. We've got about 5 to 10 miles an hour, gusting 15 miles an hour from the right or from the north, making that temperature feel like 20 degrees out on the field. Everybody's bundled up, and seriously, in about 14 seconds, I think I can count everybody who's here tonight. Most of the parents who are here tonight were here for senior night, so we had a nice little ceremony before the game, which was great. Whippets trying to move the ball forward. Pick up. That was a loss, Sean.
Yeah, it was about a loss of a half a yard. He got through at one point, but then they started pushing him back. And one thing I was noticing is with that temperature being so cold, I mean, looking at the offensive line right now, most of those guys don't have gloves on right now. So, I mean, and that's hard. I mean, especially when you just keep playing, your hands are going to get cold. I was actually talking to Devontae Fontaine, who was telling me because he has that cast on his left hand, so he can't really put a glove or anything on it. He said his fingers are already starting to freeze up during the practice, so we'll see how that affects everybody in this game tonight as well.
It's absolutely going to affect the passing game with the cold and the wind. Here come the Whippets back to throw, looking to his right-hand side, has his receiver, but number 4 was all over that, stopping that play cold. C.J. Matson with a big stop there for the Wolverines, bringing up 4th and too much for the Whippets.
Oh, and there was a flag, it looked like. They just picked it up.
And that should bring up 4th down.
Okay, well, the penalty was against the Whippets. It looks like another false start for the Whippets, which is going to roll the ball back, and it's going to bring it back to 3rd down. 3rd and, well, it is 14, but now it's going to be
Oh, we did. I think we had 2 calls on that play.
offsetting penalties, so it looks like it's a redo.
Yeah, we did. We had, looks like they called CJ for defensive pass interference, and then they called, they also had the false start, 2 false starts actually on the offense.
Well, the Whippets get a second chance at 3rd and 14 here, deep in their own territory. They've got some yardage to cover. Let's see if they go to throw. Sure enough, looking to his left hand this side. Under pressure, number 57 for the Wolverines. Gets the pass off, but there's flags on the play. I tell you what, that was Johnny Falco putting some nice pressure on the quarterback there, but it looks like we might have gotten ourselves in trouble defensively when we might have had too much contact there with the intended receiver.
Yeah, will it be a pass interference or maybe even a face mask? We'll see right here. Yep, pass interference.
Pass interference against the Wolverines. So that's going to give the Whippets what they needed right there as they move the ball across midfield now. They're spotted on the Wolverine 47-yard line. Another factor in tonight's game is these teams and their win-loss record. Boy, there's a flag on that play.
I mean, this clock hasn't been running much at all. I mean, we've been going just stop it, go and stop, go, stop. It's just been the whole game so far.
That was another false start by the Whippets. That's going to move them back across midfield again. The Wolverines are coming into this game 6-2. We're having quite the season this year, and one of the reasons is because we're actually throwing the ball, and we're using our speed to our advantage when we're overmatched. We've had some nice victories at home and on the road. The Whippets, however, are having a very difficult season. They come into this game 1-6. They beat Willimantic, and that's the only team they've won against so far. Every team that they've played and we've played, they've lost against and we've won against, with the exception of Killingly, who of course crushed both of us. Killingly tonight in Plainfield. Coverage of that game also being provided by Wolverine Radio. The Whip is trying to run the ball to the left, but I'll tell you right now, the defensive line stopped that play cold. It's going to bring up 2nd and 14, I think.
Yeah, that was a tackle right there by Devontae Fontaine. He got right in there, and like we were saying, it's hard for him to tackle right now because he has one hand because of the cast once he broke his finger a couple weeks ago. So for him to get in there, he's been going through it, though, and a lot of these guys have been fighting through injuries and not letting it hold them back.
One of the things that's pretty cool about tonight's game is that if you were not able to make it tonight for whatever reason, or if the cold was just too much, which honestly no one's going to blame you, you're able to watch the game with our coverage tonight. If you head over to the Wolverine Radio Facebook page, you can click on the link there and pick up the live stream coverage. And I also believe we're on Atlantic Broadband Channel 22 tonight as well. So
yeah, I was hearing that from a couple people actually, because they were asking where it was from, and they got the same answer. So that's a new thing for us, and that's a cool little feature we have now going for other people.
On a cold night like tonight, honestly, it doesn't get any better. You can watch your boys play football tonight, put another log on the fire, watch the game, and listen to the play-by-play coverage here as the Whippets are made it back to the 50-yard line, 3rd and 12, looking to convert here on 3rd down, getting chased down by the Wolverines, jersey grabbed, and then tackled at the 42-yard line. No flags on that play. It's going to bring up 4th and, what do you say, Sean, about 6 or 7 probably, huh?
Yeah, he was behind the line of scrimmage, so he's going to get – he's right in the middle, actually, of it. So he's going to give him about 4.5 yards, 5.5 to the first down. But this is also 4th down, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do here if they go back to the pass or to the run again.
Now we saw the Wolverines try to convert 4th down with relatively short yardage just a few minutes ago, and that was stopped, and they turned over on downs. The Whippets are going for it here as well. 4th down, 5 yards to go from the Wolverine 43-yard line. Running the ball up the middle, has some room to run, breaking all the tackles, streaking for the end zone is number 20 from the Windham Whippets. Folks, there are no flags on that play. That's going to be 6 points for the Whippets.
Yeah, that was Barbosa right there. Mike was talking about him earlier today. Barbosa Torres, Nathaniel Barbosa Torres, the fullback. He's only a junior this year, but he's a big asset to the Windham team, and it's going to be hard to stop him. I mean, but they so far they've been doing well with it. The thing that hurt them right there was the 2 pass interferences.
Big time. Yeah, that drive should have been over, but instead Barbosa sprints 42 yards, 43 yards for a touchdown, 6-0 for the Whippets, going for the 2-point conversion. Sean, that looks like it's going to be good, and so it's going to be 8-0. The Whippets on top of the Wolverines here with half of the first quarter ticking away, 6 minutes remaining. Windham takes a lead here, 8-0. Now, I know going into this game that the Wolverines are probably looking for a W here because they just have a much better record, and the state ratings, the national ratings, the local ratings, the regional ratings, everything is favoring the Wolverines tonight. They're just a better team overall. But here we have the Whippets coming out with 8 points ahead of the Wolverines as they were able to get a big 4th down conversion. Gutsy call led to 6 points and then a 2-point conversion. So 6-0 here as the boys in green get out on the field. They're going to be receiving radio right and running with the wind at their back. Sass, do we have a couple minutes here to talk about some of the fine folks that make tonight's coverage possible?
Yes, we do. Let's see. Well,
we do have a couple minutes. We'll get back to that here in just a moment or two.
Do we have it?
We're looking for our little sheet that helps us talk about the people that make tonight's coverage possible. While we're digging for that, however, feel free to join us online. Click on our Facebook page, Wolverine Radio Facebook, and find the video coverage for tonight, or Atlantic Broadband Channel 22. You can watch live play-by-play coverage here with myself, PJ, and Sean Sass, the Sassinator, as the Windham Whippets take an early lead halfway through the first quarter. Big boot here by the Whippets. Devon Ludy back to catch it at his own 22-yard line. Looking for some blocks, moving to the right-hand far side of the field. Has some blocks, looking to get around the end. Turns upfield and is forced out of bounds right around the 40-yard line. So the men in green are going to take over on downs here from their own 40. Wolverines tonight, green on top, black on the bottom. And the Windham Whippets are white on top and maroon on the bottom.
I'm going to tell you about one of our sponsors here tonight. Did you know that you can get great Tex-Mex cuisine? It's just down the road on Route 12. Did you know that, Pastor Josh?
I did.
That's right, Route 12 Taco. 564 Taco.
Fish tacos.
Fish tacos are the bomb.
They are.
Swim right on into Route 12 Taco in Plainfield. Order 860-564-TACO.
Molesky with the big run here to the right-hand side of the ball, gets across midfield and is finally tackled at the 45-yard line. That's going to move the chains on the first down here for the Wolverines. So a quick response here by the men in green, looking to match the score. 8-0, the Whippets on top after 6 minutes of play. Barbosa down the middle on a 43-yard sprint that the Wolverines were not able to contain from the Whippet 47-yard line now. From the line of scrimmage, Koziel hands the ball up the middle. Nothing on that play except for flags. Just flags, Sean.
Yeah, there was right at the middle now with the flags, we're going to see who it's on, actually. Oh, it was a fumble. Okay, so there was.
The flag was thrown on the defensive side of the ball, so I thought we were going to have a defensive penalty here because the play was in motion. There was no offsides or false starts or anything like that. 2nd and 9 from the Whippet 45-yard line. From the line of scrimmage, Koziel hands the ball off to number 3, looking around the corner. However, the end was not contained. Rambles forward for just a couple of yards. Not enough for the first down.
Yeah, Nate, that was a great run by Nate Yetton on that one. Tried his best, but just the guy, Windham just got right onto that side, knew where he was going and stopped him right in his tracks.
Something that I've been talking about with KT for the past few games, because the past few contests with the Wolverines have been evenly matched size for size, whereas our first 3 games we were outgunned. We're just a simply smaller team, but faster. We can contain the end against larger teams, but against these smaller teams, we're not. Devon Ludy going out deep, looking for a touchdown. Overthrown by Koziel. He was open, but incomplete pass for the Wolverines.
And it's hard. I mean, that wind is pushing that way, too. While I was standing out there earlier, that wind kept pushing that way. So when he thought he had that perfect throw, that wind pushed it a little more.
That was a 50-yard huck.
Yeah, so he put that the wind pushed it a little more, and just went right over his head.
It's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 yards for the Wolverines from the Whippet 42-yard line. Big incomplete pass attempt there. Second time of the night that Koziel's thrown the ball. Not able to have any completion so far tonight. Again, from the line of scrimmage, Koziel looking left, looking right, calling for the ball. And we're booting it off, so it must have been 4th down. Sorry about that. And the Wolverines are able to cover up the ball deep in Whippet territory. So the Whippet's going to take over on downs from about their own 2-yard line. So there have been some glitches with the scoreboard tonight. So sorry about that. It's saying the wrong thing. So that was a 4th down punt by the Wolverines. And that ball went deep into Whippet territory.
All right, going to tell you about Dean's Corner Diner. They're back for another year of Griswold football. They've been here all year long with us. Stop in any day of the week for bar none the best breakfast here in town. Not only that, but they have great lunch specials as well and wonderful grinders. It's Dean's Corner Diner, open 7 days a week. And Dean says, "Go Wolverines!"
Dean would say that.
He might not quite like that, but
Tell you what, the Wolverines are trying to take advantage of the field position now, even though they're on defense, because the Whippets are actually taking over on downs from their half-yard line. They're basically standing in their own end zone. And on the first play, doesn't look like they were able to move the ball at all as the defense just swarmed all over it. They attempted to move the ball up the middle. What we're finding this year is that on run plays with teams with which we are evenly matched, we're not able to contain the end on offense. And that's been taking away some points from us. However, we have been able to connect through the air. We've also had some success running the ball up the middle against teams like the Windham Whippets, against whom we are evenly matched. But the Whippets are having a hard time running the ball up the middle in general, except for that one big exception, which is responsible for the only points on the scoreboard so far. Whippets 8-0 above the Wolverines. Basically nothing going on offensively for the Whippets except for a touchdown, and I guess that's all that really matters.
Yeah, I mean if that's how they're going to play, I mean if their defense keeps playing like they have been, that one touchdown is going to be hard for the Wolverines to come back from. I mean this game it's not easy for both of them. One, they're evenly matched, but two, like we've been talking about the whole game, is the weather that affects the whole game.
I think what's going to happen though, because of Koziel's commitment to the pass, is that it's just a matter of time before he starts hitting his receivers, and that's going to start putting some big gains on the board. Willimantic is scrounging and pounding, trying to move the ball down the field. 3rd and 6 now for the Willimantic Whippets, Windham Whippets. So they are made it out to their 5-yard line. They've picked up 4 yards, bringing up 4th and 6. And so they're back to kick. That's going to give the Wolverines some great field position. Our receivers, Molesky and Ludi, are back right around the 40-yard line to receive. And sure enough, it's calling for a fair catch is C.J. Matson, who catches the ball.
That's something new this year. I mean, this game, too. Usually, it's usually Ludi and Molesky, but that one was Matson and Molesky, and Ludi stayed up front towards the line. So, I feel like it's from that last game when they saw the burst of speed from C.J. Matson, and they're going to start using that more now.
Sure. So the Wolverines are going to take over on downs after a punt by the Windham Whippets from the Whippet 29-yard line. Molesky at the line of scrimmage with the snap and hands it back to Bryce Molesky. The defense was able to stop that play right at this line of scrimmage. Maybe a yard it looks like they're giving them.
Yeah, it looks like, I mean, these are really trying to push this ball up, so we'll see how it goes.
We do have coverage from the sideline tonight. Sass, can you see if your friend is ready? Looks like he's got something to talk about tonight. Want to give him the signal?
Yeah, all right, so here we go.
Hi, guys. I'm on the sidelines here. What I saw in that last drive for Windham was the Griswold defense did a great job of stopping them. The front line really.
All right.
Sorry, folks, about that. I'm not sure if you're able to hear our guy from the sideline or not. We have no audio of him whatsoever, so I'm going to come in and let you know what's going on. Koziel was sacked, big sack on that play by the Whippets. They were able to get right behind the line of scrimmage and end that play for a loss of yards here for the Wolverines. 8-0 with less than a minute remaining in the first quarter here. So far offensively, even though the Wolverines have covered more yards, we're looking at the Whippets up 8-0, able to score 6 points and a 2-point conversion, not trying to get an extra point with the win, but just running it up the middle. Koziel back from the line of scrimmage, looking to throw, looking to convert some yards here to keep this drive going for the Wolverines. Skirting out of bounds, it looks like he's going to have enough to pick up the first down.
He stayed right in.
As he scrambled down.
Yeah,
20 seconds remaining in the first quarter with a first down conversion by Koziel.
Yeah, he got 12 yards right on that run right there. He got past the first down, kept his feet in, and then he stayed and then kept going for a couple extra yards.
So Sean, when you get a second, you might want to text your buddy down there because he's obviously having some technical difficulties. He's got a story for us, but we cannot hear it. It looks like that wasn't quite enough for a first down there on that last run play by Koziel. 4th and 5, going for it on 4th down. Back to throw, has a receiver, catches the ball, stays in bound. That's going to be a first down and come within inside the 10-yard line.
About this, it looks like they're going to be spotting it right in the middle at the right at the 6-yard line.
I didn't see the jersey of who came down with that catch. So it looks like it might have been Devon, but I'm not sure.
I'm just going to have him go for a second.
Okay.
So on that Windham drive.
So time is going to tick away. 12 minutes went, what with one thing and another. 8-0. Willimantic Whippets, Windham Whippets on top of the Wolverines. We're going to turn the field around real quick.
Yep, I got him. Yeah. Go ahead.
Whatever. I can't hear him, so whatever you want.
No, because I have it down right now.
Yeah.
I'm here on the sidelines, and on that last Windham drive, the Windham offensive line had a hard time getting any traction, and nothing.
Oh, keep going. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, folks, we've got a fresh 12 minutes on the clock at the beginning of the second quarter here. We just turned the field around. The Wolverines are knocking on the door here of the Windham Whippets. Whippets up 8-0. Wolverines looking to get their first score of the game here. The ball is going to be spotted at the deep in Whippet territory inside the 10-yard line. Scoreboard says first down and 7 for the goal line here. Koziel and crew down at the line of scrimmage. Koziel taking the snap at the line of scrimmage, hands the ball off to Bryce Molesky, who runs right on into the end zone, takes a couple of Whippets with him. But, Sass, we're going to take 6 points there.
Yeah, that was a great push. Great push by Bryce Molesky. But also great job by his offensive line to get that opening for him. I mean, without that opening, he couldn't get in. So it was a great push for him.
Nice job there by the boys. So it's going to bring up 6 points for the Wolverines. 6-8 now is the score. Let's see if we go for 2 or 1. The wind, of course, is in our face. Looks like we're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Bryce Molesky again up the middle. Relatively uncontested. That's going to be a tie ball game. Here in the early moments of the second quarter, Wolverines versus the Whippets. It's tie 8-8. Interestingly enough, the Whippets were able to score against Killingly, and we were not. But that's really one of the few highlights from their season so far, as they've been struggling to put some wins together. Their record coming into tonight, 1-6. The Wolverines 6-2. It's senior night, and we're freezing here in Griswold. We're in the press box. We've got the window closed, so we're actually in pretty good shape. But obviously, some folks are choosing to watch the game from home tonight, and if you are, go to Wolverine Facebook page, click on the link there, and join the live stream coverage or on channel 22 on Atlantic Broadband. Wolverines getting ready here for the kickoff early in the second quarter as they've tied up the score. 2 successive runs by Bryce Molesky up the middle. Hand off the ball from Andrew Koziel. Took the snap at the line of scrimmage. Able to run the ball through the middle. We've seen that this year, that with teams that were evenly matched, we are able to run the ball up the middle, but we're not able to run the ball around the end. And so, of course, we're able to score tonight using that strategy that we've picked up over the past few weeks. Kickoff by Chris Thibodeau, caught by number 28 from the Whippets, making a nice attempt at a run down the field. He dropped that ball, but it was picked up by the Whippets, and it looks like it's going to be a Whippet ball on their own 37, maybe 38-yard line. Good kick there by Chris Thibodeau. Got the ball down the field about 25, 30 yards before being returned by the special teams of the Whippets. Sean, I'm trying to think. We've only seen the Whippets throw the ball once or twice tonight so far.
Yep.
Now in the second quarter, with the wind coming from the north, they are on the north side of the field. Let's see if they start throwing the ball a little bit more, because the wind is going to be at their back.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's gonna be hard for them though, because we saw with Andrew though, they pushed that ball when he threw it, he pushed the ball and it went way over.
The Whippets, number 2, able to get around the end and pick up some yards before being forced out of bounds right around the 45-yard line in Wolverine territory. What's that young man's name?
That was Isaiah English. He's a junior this year. He is the running back. Also, he does backup quarterback and defensive back as well.
He's got some speed, man. He took off on that play. 1st and 10 for the Whippets. They did not spot the ball as generously as I thought they were going to. He must have been shoved out of bounds earlier than I thought. So that ball's basically at the 50-yard line now. 1st and 10 for the Whippets. It's a run up the middle by Barbosa. He's fighting through the defensive line, gets into the secondary, and the secondary shuts him down after a gain of about 5 yards. Boy, there was a big fight over that 5 yards.
Yeah, it was. They got to push the ball. They're trying to push that ball as much as they can on the run, since the quarterback's going to have a hard time throwing it. Because if he's wearing a glove right now, yeah, it's hard to get the grip on that ball. But if he's not wearing it, it's also his hand's going to be cold, freezing up, so it's going to be hard for him to even push that ball out.
It looked like on that play, defensive tackle Dane Taylor stuck with the play the whole time, but he was one of the few from the defensive line that stuck with that play as Barbosa pounded his way through for a gain. 2nd and 6. They gave him 4 yards on that carry from the line of scrimmage. The Whippets, another handoff. It's going to be a run to the left-hand side of the ball. It turns up the middle, and I'll tell you what, Sean, that got stuffed.
Yeah, he was right there, guy. Great tackle by him. And, that was also a great play with a great switch, because we had to have a player go on because Nate Yen had to come off real quick because he did have some blood on his arm, and the rule is if you have blood anywhere, you have to come off the field until you get it cleaned up. So we had Patrick Strain go on the field as a linebacker, and Patrick Strain's been doing great this year. I mean, he's a junior, really been doing a lot for the team, and he's been switching back and forth too, from starting to going back on to subbing for people.
3rd and 8 for the Whippets here. Looking back to throw, under pressure by number 30. It's going to be a sack and a strip. Let's see if they're going to call that a strip. I believe they did, but it was covered by the Whippets for a big loss. That's going to bring up 4th and way too much for the Whippets.
Great hit by Fontaine right there, Devontae Fontaine. He right behind him. Quarterback didn't even see him coming at him, actually, so because he was behind his back. So, and that's a hard thing to do, because if you don't know that guy's coming, you're gonna get hit, and yeah, the ball might pop out, and that's what we saw right there.
Wolverines letting the ball bounce like we've been doing the past few games, not making any attempt at picking up that ball. The ball's going to be spotted in Wolverine territory right around our own 27-yard line. Late flag on the play. Somebody mouthed off.
There's going to be an unsportsmanlike. There was a big hit right there by number 5, Logan Chappelle, who's actually a sophomore this year. A big hit on number 2, Isaiah English. So let's see. Something might have gone after that, too, because Isaiah English wasn't near the ball yet. And with that hit, so we'll see what happens. It looks like they're going to be backing up Griswold. So
yeah, Wolverines are walking to the radio left. back into their own territory. It looks like this unsportsmanlike conduct or personal foul is going to go against the Wolverines. 9.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter, tied score. Sure enough, that's a big walk back. That ball is now going to be spotted
unsportsmanlike
on our 13-yard line. That was a big 15-yard penalty there for the Wolverines for unsportsmanlike conduct there.
That was somebody new too. That was on Chappelle. So.
And what's crazy about that is we didn't even try to run the ball back.
Yeah, no.
We didn't even catch the ball.
Yeah, we did have that earlier this year. We had that punt that Bryce Molesky had to him, but it went right through his arm. So I feel like the team might be looking out a little more for that.
It's a handoff to Devon Ludy, looking for some blocking to the left-hand side of the ball. Runs forward for a few yards. Short gain for Devon Ludy. Got some blocking there as he passed through the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he just lowered his head, but not just his head, lowered his whole body to go down. And it was a great play.
We've got an update from Plainfield as Killingly is on the road tonight, and our Wolverine crew ably fielded by Jeff Gardner and KT Kevin Thompson. 13-zip, Killingly on top, no big surprise there. Bryce Molesky running forward tonight, and that's going to be close to a first down, Sean. Let's see where they spot that ball.
He was pushing, though. He wasn't letting them take him down.
They're moving the chains, buddy.
Yeah.
So it's going to bring a 1st and 10 for the Wolverines as they bring the ball out right around the 25-yard line. Of course, this is right around where the ball stopped after a punt, and then we had an unsportsmanlike conduct, personal foul, walked it back 15. We've gotten that 15 back as Koziel takes the snap from the line of scrimmage, hands it off to Devon Ludy, looking to do that same play we saw 2 plays ago, but no joy there, buddy.
No, and I'm just looking at Koziel every time after he snaps the ball. Oh, wow, fumble.
The Whippets are saying, and the refs are agreeing, that ball popped out before Ludy was down.
Oh, there is a conversation. Refs are talking.
So we're going to talk about this a little bit, but right now the offense is coming out on the field for the Whippets. If it is, in fact, a Whippet ball, they're basically at the 30-yard line in some of the best field position of the night for either team. The Wolverines are looking discombobulated.
Yep, and it is their ball. It is Whippet ball.
Looks like the play on the field is going to stand. This is not common. We don't see Devon fumble the ball hardly ever. However, that's what happened. It might be because of the temperature. I'll tell you one thing, though, that sure fired up the defense as we stuffed that play, knocked the ball loose, and the Whippets were scrambling. Number 55 for the Whippets was able to save that play for them. That young man is Alden Munilo Garcia, saved the ball for the Whippets. No gain on that play. 2nd and 10 for the Whippets.
That was interesting because during that run, they did blow the whistle during the tackle.
I heard that.
And then the ball dropped and they kept playing.
I heard that.
So, and the rest didn't stop it. So, it didn't change anything, though. The Windham did still get the ball, but the whistle blew.
The Ludy fumble fired up the Wolverine defense. I'm predicting another stuff on this. As they're running back, looking to throw the ball, flushed out of the pocket. Wolverines are swarming the quarterback. Quarterback takes a big hit there, but he moves the chains. It was number 3, I believe. I believe it was Nathan Yetton delivered a big hit, but that was a 15-yard gain for the Whippets. They flushed them out, but they could not end the play. But Yetton stepped up and said hello.
Dangerous hit, though. I mean, we did see a couple weeks ago he got ejected for putting his hands out. That one didn't look like he had the hands out at all.
No, he lowered his shoulder and dropped him like a sack of potatoes. So 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. The Whippets are looking to score again here from the line of scrimmage. Number 8 takes the ball, hands it up to the big Barboza, who rambles through the middle for about 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, he's been pushing a little bit. He's been pushing that ball. I mean, he did get the touchdown for him, and that's who they're looking to go to is Barboza. He's the guy they're going to give the ball to in these situations.
So Almodovar, the Whippet quarterback, has not thrown the ball much tonight. He's tried to, but every time he tries to throw the ball, the Wolverines are flushing him out of the pocket. That time he was able to convert to a big first down, give them good field position here. They are now inside the 10-yard line. The Whippets from the line of scrimmage, handing the ball off to Barboza again, who is stopped. I'll get a jersey number here, but they're still all on the ground. Number 18 with the stop that time for the Wolverines.
And I'm just going to point this out. I don't know if I was the only one who noticed it. Did you notice how late that whistle was? And he was already down. I mean, they didn't blow the whistle until he started getting up.
Yeah.
And that's when the whistle started blowing. So that takes a couple seconds off the clock, too.
Patrick Strain with a big stop there of Barboza. 3rd and 6 for the Whippets inside the 10-yard line in Wolverine territory. Whippets, of course, hoping to take advantage of a Devon Luty fumble at the 30-yard line. They've moved the ball about 17 yards since taking over on downs, and it looks like someone's calling a timeout.
And that would be Windham.
Windham calling timeout. They do not want to miss this opportunity. 5.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Let's talk about some of our friends. Where's that sheet?
I guess that's me. I keep missing my cues here. Camping. Hey, it's a great family activity, and it's even better in a new or used RV from Highway Campers in Plainfield. Pull trailers, mobile homes, park models, they got it all. Highway Campers, Route 12, Plainfield, 564-0141. Proud supporter of Wolverine and Panther football, believe it or not. Hey, they've said it for a few years now, and it's all about this slogan. It's the wood
that makes it bueno.
That makes it bueno. Or that's the mantra of Uncle D's Blazing Barbecue in Norwich. If you've never been there, go eat. Go there now and eat. They're delicious. You've seen them at Griswold Town events. Why not experience them in their own restaurant? Just off Old Exit 82 behind True Value. Uncle D's Blazing Barbecue.
Get the Cajun coleslaw, folks.
Griswold.
Cajun coleslaw.
Back to you, PJ.
Gotta love it. 8-8 is the score right now. The Whip is trying to get the ball into the end zone. The quarterback is keeping the ball, dodges one tackle, rambles forward for the Wolverines, shut that play down, but he got a couple yards on that play. It's going to bring up 4th and short for the Whippets here as they're knocking on the Wolverine door.
And yeah, they're gonna go for it. There's no question right here.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna. I mean, but they're not that far. They're about 5 yards from it. So, and about 2 yards more, and they're in the end zone. So, we'll see how that goes. We'll see. I mean, will it be a run again?
4 yards for a first down, 6 yards for a touchdown as the Whippets go back to the line of scrimmage. 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 8-8. Here's a handoff to Barboza. No shocker there. Looking to get around to the right-hand side of the ball. Big pile up, and the Wolverines move that ball. I don't think he got more than a yard on that play, if that.
We're going to see. It looks like, yeah, he is short. Yep, first down for Griswold.
Griswold is going to take over on downs. That was a big stop by the defense for the Wolverines there. Basically a goal line stand after a Devon Luty fumble at our own 30-yard line. Brought back 17 or 18 yards and then stopped short at the 6-yard line by the Wolverine defense. So now they've got a long march, Sassinator. They've got 96 yards to go with the wind in their teeth.
Yep, and they got to be careful here. I mean, they can't go backwards because that could lead into a safety. So that's going to be something to watch right there.
Basically from their own 5-yard line. Hands the ball off up the middle. Do not have a jersey number, but I'll tell you what, that play did not go far at all. Half a yard, if anything, maybe to the line of scrimmage. I'm trying to see who's on the carry. It's probably going to be Yetton, Molesky. It was Molesky, I believe, on the carry. Could have been Yetton, hard to tell.
Yeah, it looks like we have a player coming off right now.
Andrew, well, that's interesting.
Nope, we have number 50, Steven Sims, coming off the field. Cozio going
back in with the play. 2nd and 7, so we picked up 3 on that play, which it sure didn't look like it from here, but we'll take it. From the line of scrimmage, looking to his left, rolling to his right, hands the ball off, play whistle dead. So we're going to do that one over.
East Lyme 7, Fitch nothing.
I'm looking to see what that call was. East Lyme versus Fitch. East Lyme on top 7-0. That play was a penalty against the Whippets. I believe it was offsides on the Whippets there was what was the call.
So that's a offsides for defense to call that. They have to stop that play right away because they call it a neutral zone infraction.
Yep.
And so what that does is that gives them an extra chance to get that runner or quarterback because they got closer.
2nd and 2 for the Wolverines. We've got a little bit of breathing room, about 10 yards till our own end zone. Pitched back to Bryce Molesky, looking to contain the end, and sort of contained, but not really. He was tackled out of bounds after a good run there.
Yeah, it looked like on that run he ran into Nate Yetton while he was running, so it stopped him.
It's going to move the chains, though.
Yeah.
Picked up the 2 that we needed, plus some.
Yeah, and we had a couple guys who fall down on that play while Bryce was running because he was running right into him, and he can't really stop himself because then he's just going to lose yardage.
1st and 10 from our own 17-yard line. 3.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. The Wolverines with a nice defensive stop. 8-8 is the score from the line of scrimmage. Now looking to throw the ball. Devon Ludy up the middle. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The Whippets read that play right from the get-go. Devon tried to spin to his left to get to the outside of the pile, but he got wrapped up immediately.
Yeah, they're stopping that right away, and because they're looking at it, they're running the ball a lot, and they're going to know that because they're going to have to do the same thing with, on their side of the when they're on offense.
What I'd like to see is a variation of what we try to do all the time. On that last play with Molesky as an example, trying to run around the end. How about we just lateral out to the end real quick and beat the defense out to the end and see if that works. With this wind, you can try a short pass like that.
Mm-hmm. Even a nice screen.
Looks like the Wolverines just took a timeout there.
Yeah, even a nice screen pass would be good right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got the right number of guys on that side and you throw it right to them, that'd be perfect for them.
We're going to take a quick timeout here and talk to you more about some of the fine folks that makes tonight's coverage available, not only just on the radio, but also on Channel 22 and Atlantic Broadband. Talk to us, Mr. Mynarski.
Hey, thanks. It's really nice to be on Channel 22 Atlantic Broadband. Hello, everybody.
It's so much better than Channel 23.
Hey, did you know last month was Life Insurance Awareness Month? Okay. Did you know that? Did you?
No, I didn't die,
so
it didn't come to my attention.
Did you know it? Did you hear about it?
No.
Did you know about it?
No.
All right. Kevin Trahan from Allstate Insurance in Plainfield has 36 years of life insurance experience. If you are concerned about your current policy or you need some good solid advice, call Kevin today, 860-564-3383. They're even open on Saturday. Call them tomorrow, will you? Call them tomorrow. Tell them Mike sent you, for crying out loud. 860-564-3383. He will love you to pieces if you could do that. 860-564-3383. And by the way, Kevin is also a graduate from Plainfield High School in 1977.
From the shotgun, 2nd and 12 from our own 15. Back to throw. He's doing exactly what we asked him to do, but picked off by the Whippets, who run it back for a touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Boy, did that play ever backfire.
That was, I mean, he lobbed that pass. You got to throw a straight bullet pass on those throws because a lob pass right there, that gave him, obviously, like we just saw, that gave him plenty of time to run up there and intercept that ball. But if you throw a bullet pass, it's going to give him less time to get up there.
It's fascinating that they're seeing the same thing we're seeing, called the same play we just called, but it was not executed well at all, unfortunately, by Koziel. That is a costly mistake. 8-14 as the Whippets get in the end zone for the second time tonight on an interception. Koziel was back from the shotgun, obviously trying to pass the ball to get the ball out to the end to get some yardage, and but he threw a lame duck instead of a dart, and that cost us. So the Whippets are trying to get 2 points again on a conversion. They're celebrating. Let's see if the refs join them, and they do. So 2 touchdowns, 2 conversions for the Whippets. 8-16 here with 3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Do we have Sean from the sidelines? He's got something for us?
Yes, we do. Yeah, here we go.
Take it away, Sean. Sean is not ready.
So on the Sean Anderson here on the sidelines, on that pick 6, the quarterback rolled to his right and threw across his body, and number 8 was right there ready to pick it off and practically ran the route to the end zone for a touchdown. Back to you in the booth.
Thank you, Sean Anderson, E-Dog's brother, with coverage there. Like you mentioned, pick 6 there for the Wolverines, leading to the second Whippet touchdown of the evening. 8-16 took a little bit of the fire out of the Wolverines there as they were trying to move the ball. It was going to be a 96-yard drive if they were able to score, which they weren't. They got the ball out to about the 30-yard line, a little short of that actually, and then a big interception. So we've seen 2 turnovers so far tonight, 3 turnovers actually, 2 turnovers by the Wolverines, one on a fumble from Devon Ludy, and another interception by Koziel. And the first turnover tonight was on the kickoff, and the Wolverines were able to pick up the ball but not capitalize on it. Onside kick there by the Whippets. The Wolverines covered up at our own 38-yard line as the offense comes back out on the field and has a little less than 3 minutes to try and tie it up before we go into halftime. We've had some more people have showed up, some brave souls. I see more blankets tonight than I've ever seen out here before. It is brutally cold. 30 degrees at kickoff tonight with a wind chill of 20 degrees. And I'll tell you what, it's a good night to listen to the game on Wolverine Radio or watch on Facebook. You can click on the link. We're live streaming the game and the coverage. Koziel pitches the ball to Molesky, running to the left-hand side, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and then forced out of bounds. Picks up maybe, I don't know, a yard or 2 on that play.
It looked like it got about 1 to 2 yards, but I mean, there's that that little pitch he did. I mean, that was perfect because it didn't take a lot of time to get right to him. And
yeah.
We saw what happens when it takes a lot of time to get right to him on that pass, and they're going to learn from that. And that's one thing that in the second half, we do get the ball back on the kickoff. So we'll probably definitely see that in the second half going on.
And we'll have the wind at our backs when we go into the third quarter, which obviously favors our passing game from our own 40-yard line. 2nd and 8. Koziel from the shotgun, calling for it. Looking to throw, rolling to his right, has some time, big throw, looking for Nathan Yetton, another interception by the Whippets. That ball was underthrown right into the numbers of the Whippets. They're going to take over possession here as the second quarter is ticking away, 2.5 minutes from their own 40-yard line. That was a 30 or 40-yard huck by Koziel, who's not having any luck tonight finding his receivers.
And that was hard because that pass he threw was a bullet, but it was on his back foot. He was leaning back foot, and he started falling over when he threw that ball, so he had no vision on it because he had a guy in front of him. And that's another hard thing for him. But Isaiah English, again, came up with that interception. So now it is Windham's ball.
Running the ball up the middle for a gain of not a whole lot as the defense, of course, stops that play pretty quickly. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half of the game. 8-16, the Whippets are able to, so far, have a really good outing here against the Wolverines. We did not anticipate this coming into tonight's competition. Wolverines 6-2, the Whippets 1-6. The Wolverines have beat every common opponent except for the Killingly Redmen, who are in Plainfield tonight. Last we heard it was 14-0 in Plainfield tonight. Killingly on top of Plainfield. Fumble. Quarterback cannot hold on to the ball. Griswold picks up the ball. Let's see if the refs agree.
Yep.
And they do. So big change of momentum here for the Wolverines with less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. What fans are here are stomping their feet. It could be because they're frozen and dying, but I think it's because we just got the ball and we have a chance to go into the half tying this game up because, Sean, we're not supposed to lose this game.
No, we need these next 2 games. I mean, this game and then going into the Plainfield game, the rivalry. Because if Plainfield comes out with, if they win this game, they have tonight, okay, they'll be 6-1 or 7-1. But if they lose and they win the next 2, then they're going to be, and we win this one, we'll both be 7-2 and we'll be fighting for that playoff spot.
Koziel pitches the ball to Molesky, who's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage, doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. The Whippets number 20 Barboza on the stop there. Let's see, did we make it back to the line of scrimmage? Nope, we lost a yard.
Nope.
2nd and 11 from the Whippet 42-yard line. So there was a bad snap, and the Whippets were not able to. The quarterback just fumbled and bumbled and got hit, and the Wolverines came up with the ball. So big chance here. Koziel back from the shotgun, looking to throw this time, looking to his left. Big throw, looking for Nathan Yetton, and overthrows Yetton, and the ball is intercepted again. Sean, that is out of control.
this is this past game is not going well tonight. I feel like in the second half we're not going to be seeing that. We're going to be seeing a lot of the run game. Right now, Cozio is either his hands or are cold, freezing up. And he's not warming them on the sidelines like he should be. I mean, as he's standing there while the defense is on, or he's just throwing that ball and he's not throwing it the right way, and it's just going either over, short, or it's a lob and not or a bullet. So
it's very rare for Koziel. He's all season just a very conservative, very accurate quarterback. But tonight it seems like he's just been letting the ball fly, and 0 receptions with, I believe, 7 attempts, 2 of them leading to big interceptions that are just really killing the Wolverines right now. We had a big chance there to march the ball 30 yards down the field. We had the time to do it, to tie the game up going into the half, but instead, as the clock goes below 40 seconds, we're trailing by 8 to 16. Because the Whippets were able to intercept the ball and run it a quick 6 yards into the end zone just a few moments ago. The Whippets trying to run the ball up the middle of the field, playing very conservatively. Obviously not looking to do a whole lot right now, just let the clock run. However, the clock did just stop. I don't know why. Somebody must have called a timeout. I think the Wolverines must have just called a timeout as the defense is coming to the sideline here. Possibly, Wilcox is saying, boys, if ever you were going to knock that ball loose and pick it up and run it into the end zone, you got 20.8 seconds to do it.
Yeah, and and if they want to go in the halftime tied game, or even,
it's going to have to be a defensive touchdown.
It's going to have to be, because you won't have time for the offensive touchdown.
Nope. So if anything, he called a timeout there, and he said, don't tackle him, hold him up and strip him. Possibly that's what he said, as it's 3rd and 7 here for the Whippets. The Whippets, of course, are hoping to snap the ball and just let the time run out and go into half, warm up a little bit. As honestly, Sean, I don't know if the Whippets thought they'd be up by 8 points going into the half here on the road against Griswold. I certainly did not see it coming.
I don't think either team did, and that's the hard part about this.
So the Whippets are able to run the ball around the end. Everyone's playing a little bit conservative right now. The runner was able to get out of bounds, stopping the clock with 13 seconds. I'm not sure why he wanted to do that, but they also picked up a first down on that run.
Here we go, Patrick Strain going in now for Devontae Fontaine. They've been doing that a lot tonight, switching those two.
I'm not sure what the call was there for the Griswold timeout on the last play, but I don't think it was so that the Whippets could get a first down and stop the clock.
Yeah, and we'll see. It was weird to see, like you said, the Whippets run out of bounds on that one.
Yeah, that's odd. From their own 25-yard line, from the line of scrimmage, they're going to run the ball again for sure. They're probably going to hand it off to Barboza, which they do. He's running up the middle. Wolverines are swarming and stopping it. And that is going to be it for the first half. 8 to 16, Wolverines trail the Whippets here at home on senior night. It's a good night to watch the game from home, but we're going to take a quick 12 to 15-minute break while the cheerleaders come on out and entertain the folks that are braving the 30-degree temperature that we have tonight. Wind chill is probably below 20 degrees. So I got 15 minutes, folks, to get some hot chocolate going, put some more wood on the fire, and we're going to talk a little bit about our sponsors, which makes tonight's coverage possible. 8 to 16 is the score right now. The Wolverines trailing the Whippets.
Griswold seniors, well, all of them that either are on the cheerleading squad or the football team got honored before, including my stepson, too, Dane Taylor. So congratulations to Dane on that, and the rest of the seniors as well. Hey, sure hope you're enjoying the weekend here in town. It's Veterans Day weekend. Please make sure you remember all your veterans, and if you know anybody that is a veteran, shake their hand, tell them thank you for your service, because we do appreciate it here in Griswold and throughout the world. Hey, some other people that are making our broadcast possible here tonight as we broadcast live on Wolverine Radio and also Atlantic Broadband Cable Access Channel 22 and, of course, YouTube. To try to bring you the game as much as possible and in as many ways, so you can go ahead and listen. Uncle Cranky's Cafe, Uncle Cranky's on Main Street in Jewett City. They've got great lunch and dinner specials, and even Becky, she will place their lunch and dinner specials every day on the Wolverine Radio Facebook page for you to check them out. Uncle Cranky's Cafe, proud to sponsor Griswold Football. Hey, here's a great deal for you. Thomas Buffington Associates Auto Repair in Plainfield is offering oil changes for just $19.99. Now, you have to hurry. It's a limited time offer. Check them on their Facebook page for details. That's Thomas Buffington Associates Auto Repair. Give them a call at 860-317-1079. 860-317-1079. You know, legal issues can be very difficult. The law offices of Stu Norman has helped countless people in our area when it comes to probate, real estate closings, living wills, and so much more. The law offices of Stu Norman, Slater Avenue, Jewett City. You know, Stu is also a GHS alumnus himself and a former member of the Wolverine football team. We're at halftime right now at Griswold. Windham, the 1-6 Whippets, are leading the Wolverines by the score of 16-8. This is a must-win situation for the Griswold Wolverines. We'll tell you why in just a minute. You're listening to Wolverine Football right here on Wolverine Radio. Running video on YouTube and also Atlantic Broadband Cable Channel 22. So thank you very much to Kyle Gunderman for running video for Wolverine Radio and the Griswold Sports and Programming Network, as he calls it. And also, we have another gentleman in the booth tonight in the front, Charlie Butramovic. He's doing the play-by-play for the live crowd here, as Lou D'Amico is away on assignment, as they so say. So, Mr. Butro in the booth. Butro in the booth. I think that's got a little good ring to it. So now we were talking about how this has got a definite need for the Griswold Wolverines to win this game tonight because it has serious playoff implications. So let's take a look at it right now. Griswold right now is 6-2. If they win this game, they're going to be 7-2 with a bye week next week, which means they're going to go into Thanksgiving with a 7-2 record. Now, they play Plainfield, obviously, on Thanksgiving Day. Plainfield has a record right now of 6-1. They are playing Killingly right now. Killingly hasn't lost to anybody this year. Killingly, with Lockwood on their side, they are an absolute machine. And Killingly is down right now 13-0 at the half at Plainfield High School. Plainfield is expected to win against Waterford the week after that. So now here it is. Both teams are going to be 7-2. If that goes, if all goes to plan, statistically, Griswold should beat or should be able to beat Windham tonight, who's 1-6. They have to contain Barbosa, that's for sure. But if they don't, they're going to have a real hard time with that. So with that being said, on Thanksgiving Day, if both teams, Griswold and Plainfield, are 7-2, then the game is going to have a lot more implications than just who's going to get the trophy. It's going to have playoff implications for state playoff rounds for sure, because you have to have 8 wins to get into the playoff round. Both teams are going to be, at this point, it looks like they're going to be 7-2. So this game right here is a must-win for the Griswold Wolverines. If they don't win this game right here, they're not going to be able to get into the playoffs, and the best record they can hope for will be 7-3. So let's root for your Wolverines. We're still at halftime. There still is, let's see, how much time now? We got 5 minutes left in the half before quarter number 3 commences. You are listening to Wolverine Football right here on Wolverine Radio.
How was that?
Amsterdam, because they were hearing it.
How was it?
It was good. You just can't don't move the mic on you.
Okay.
So it doesn't cut in and out on us.
Okay. I'll do that. Trying to just warm up because the first time I tried to talk, my hands were frozen. I couldn't move the.
What about content?
No, the content was good, especially because you kept it to about 10 or 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
Okay.
So, no, it was good.
Who's your first shot at?
So, the only thing I'd say tonight is when you're down on the field.
Welcome back to Griswold High School at Wolverine Stadium. Halftime here, just a couple minutes left in halftime. Mike Minarski along with you. Going to pass it over to Pastor Josh and Sean Sass in just a minute or so. But right now I'm going to tell you about just a couple more of our sponsors that are here that help the Wolverines get known on the radio or now even on the TV or YouTube. We're growing, folks. We're growing. Griswold Pride. They've been educating Griswold residents for almost 3 years now on the dangers of drugs and alcohol. Through the help of community leaders and residents, we're all more knowledgeable, including myself, about the dangers that affect so many people. PRIDE. That's the partnership to reduce the influence of drugs for everyone. That's Griswold Pride, and we thank them for letting us use your Griswold Pride broadcast booth that we use every single football game we broadcast for the Wolverines. Also, don't forget that this is one of my favorite places to eat in the entire area, and that's Route 12 Taco. If you've never been there, you got to go. It's just a little tiny, little quaint little place, but it's so cool because it actually I think you can get a lot of the better food in some of the smaller places, but you can get your stuff ready for order and pick up at 860-564-TACO. That's Route 12 Taco Tex-Mex Grill. 860-564-TACO. My daughter loves doing their commercials, and they're just a great place. You got to have their taco salad. Got to have, and you said fish tacos, right? Pastor
Yeah,
Josh?
fish tacos are the jam with a little special happy sauce.
Maybe some of the dishes.
I don't know what it is, but it's so good.
But if you're not Spanish or, Pastor Josh Espanol, but one thing that isn't hard to understand is the quality and the price. 860-564-T to the A to the C to the O. Taco. Those are bats flying up there. Did you see those? That's my ADD kicking in. All right, second half of football coming up. Back to you, Pastor Josh.
Welcome aboard, Wolverine fans. You're joining us for continuing live coverage of tonight's competition between our very own Wolverines and the Windham Whippets. Now, interestingly enough, coming into tonight's game, the Wolverines 6-2, a victorious season for the Wolverines, doing quite well. The Whippets 1-6, really struggling, but you wouldn't know it by looking at the scoreboard, as the Wolverines trail 8-16. So the Whippets have been able to get into the end zone twice. This big story of the first half is everybody understands that it's cold and miserable. A lot of folks are probably at home listening to the game or watching it by clicking on the live stream on the Facebook page or Channel 22 on Atlantic Broadband. That's a good call, by the way. So everybody knows that it's cold and wind from the north about 10 miles an hour. It's actually less than 20 degrees with the wind chill now on the field. But, Sean, it's been turnovers. Talk to us for a couple of minutes about turnovers and how they have impacted the score.
I mean, we've had a lot of turnovers so far. I mean, let's start with the interceptions with Andrew Koziel. He's thrown 3 now. One of them went back for a pick 6. That was on the lob pass, on the lob screen. I would actually that defense ran right up, caught it, got it, brought it back to the end zone. Threw deep. He had it's been hard for him throwing. He's thrown a couple incomplete passes as well over Devon Luty's head. He threw one over Devon Luty's head that got intercepted, and then he threw another interception on a bullet pass right to the defense. And so that's really hurting him right now. With that, not only that, but we've seen the fumble as well from Devon Luty. We've seen actually a couple now, and all of it is the weather. The weather is affecting their hands. The weather is affecting how they're playing. I mean, we were just watching Andrew Koziel throw the ball, and it looked like it wasn't going as well as it was it's supposed to. And you and I were just in the locker room, and they were talking and saying the whole time, it's a one score game.
And that's something that I think the Wolverines coaching staff was really trying to let the young men know about, and we've been saying this all season, that if it's 2 scores or less in high school football, it's a tie ball game. Things happen that fast, things turn around that quick. We've seen that tonight. It went from a tie ball game to a 16-8 ball game in about 2 seconds flat because of an interception from from the lame duck pass that you mentioned. And so we're only down by 8 points, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. And Wolverines are third quarter scorers. And historically, watching this game now with the Wolverines for the past 3 seasons, we score in the first and the third quarter statistically. And when we come out tonight on offense in the third quarter, I believe the wind is going to be at our back. Now, Koziel was taking some throwing practice here just a few moments ago going into the beginning of the third quarter here. And there was a marked difference between the types of throws he was making now as opposed to the ones he was making during the game, which was he was throwing 10 to 15-yard bullet screen passes. And that's going to be key for them going into this third quarter. But the problem with that is going to be, will his receivers' hands be warm and nimble enough to actually catch a ball that's thrown with a little spice on it? We're about ready to find out here as the Wolverines, the ball just got kicked off. The Wolverines, it was a squib kick, and the Wolverines are able to pick it up deep in their own territory. Not great field position here at the beginning of the third quarter. That ball looked like a wild horse that they could not tame, and it bounced after initial contact about 15 or 20 yards deeper and deeper into Wolverine territory. So that kick was a lot of trouble for the special teams here. So the Wolverines are going to take over on downs on their own 21-yard line in their own territory here, and they are throwing into the wind. So I was mistaken. They're going to have fourth quarter advantage with the wind.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what they planned on in the coin toss as well, is which way is the wind going and which way do we want to go for the for the fourth quarter.
Yep, they apparently made that call before the game. So from the line of scrimmage, Koziel hands the ball off to Bryce Molesky up the middle. Standard ground and pound for a gain of about 3 yards or so on that play. Opening play of the third quarter here. 8-16, the Windham Whippets on top tonight. And, of course, I'm sure the Whippets were talking about a few things at halftime, which was, hey, guys, we might get a W here. Let's identify what's working and working well. And what's working well for them is Barboza.
Yeah, and another thing they're thinking right now, Windham, let's knock these guys out of state playoff contention.
Yeah.
That is what they want to do. That is what teams want to do if they are a low-ranked team and they don't have a chance to make it there. They want to start knocking teams out of it.
It's going to be a pass for the second play of the third quarter, and that's going to end in a sack. Koziel, who does not throw the ball away.
No, we've seen that a lot, is him just holding the ball, letting him get sacked, but that hurts him. That loses yards sometimes, because as that just did right there, that pushed him back. They're now on about the 10-yard line, maybe a little in front of it. Oh, no, they're way.
They gave him a favorable spot on that. That was supposed to be on the 15. That's where the play actually ended, but he must have gotten a knee down or something earlier
20,
because they are going to take this 3rd and 11 from their own 20, which works out for them because that sack drove them deep, but he must have got his knee down early. From the shotgun here, looking to convert, rolling to his left, and he's going to get sacked again, big time, by number 57 from the Whippets. That was Fasil Khan, who came in and just trucked Koziel. The defense here struggling early in the third quarter. Koziel slow to get up. He got pounded on that play, Sean.
Yeah, and he did not. He needs to get that ball off quicker too, because he had a couple guys open on the left side where he was going, but he just didn't get it off. And not only that, but now if this is a bad snap, which it wasn't, that could have been fatal right there in the end zone.
Yeah, it was a beautiful kick, and it's going to take a Wolverine bounce. It gets out to the 45-yard line, still in Griswold territory, but I'm telling you right now, the way that opening drive went, the Wolverines are lucky with the way this happened, where the ball is now on their own 45-yard line as the Whippets take over on downs because, Sean, I don't know if it's the cold, I don't know if they're cramping up, I don't know, if they're a little still moping around that they thought they'd be on top of this team, no problem, and this team is given a run for the money. But the opening set of downs here was just not impressive. Molesky got 4 yards on the first down, and then it was successive sacks. And Whippet ball, 16-8. From the 45, from the line of scrimmage, it's a handoff, no surprise, to Barboza, who's pounding the ball down the middle for a gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards, depending on the spot. Pretty much the whole squad comes in on these plays to finish the play. And honestly, I don't see why the Whippets would do anything other than that.
No, that's a smart thing. I mean, one, that's getting them up the field, but two, that's running out clock now too.
Yeah, that's right. The clock is not their friend.
So I mean, running out that clock, that's what they want to do right now, and give Griswold less time to take over.
We did hear at halftime, and it was pretty obvious from here as well, that they're having a hard time stopping Barboza. As again, Barboza rambles forward for a gain of about another 4 yards. It's going to come up short for the 4th down, but bring up 3rd and short for the Whippets. And so, obviously, the Wolverines are focused on Barboza. They're looking to stop him on both sides of the ball because Barboza's made some big stops defensively as well. Talented young man.
But that could hurt him, too. If they focus on him too much and then they switch it up, and they keep their focus on him, something could happen there.
It's Barboza again, and it looked like he might have gotten the 1st down before the pile shoved him back. Let's see where the refs spot that ball. Because if they don't get the 1st down, it's going to be 4th and inches.
He's short.
So that's an interesting call. They seem to be saying inches short with confidence.
We might. Oh, nope, the chains are coming.
I was going to say, because he had a little steamroll in there, and then, of course, the defensive line swarms all over it. Yep, they're going to bring the chains out.
And we actually know one of the kids running the chains tonight. That would be Dakota Gardner. He's came out to help with that, as well as O'Neal, who both guys on the wrestling team came out to help for this game since the 2 guys who were usually supposed to do it weren't able to make it.
So they're going to say they're short by an inch or 2. So it's going to bring up 4th and a couple of inches here for the Whippets. The ball is spotted in Wolverine territory on the 35-yard line. So obviously this play is going to be Barboza up the middle for the Whippets. I'd be stunned if they did anything differently than that. He's gotten them 9 3/4 yards so far.
This is where you pinch it.
Offside.
False start.
False start.
False start. That's going to move him back now.
I tell you what, that was a huge break for the Wolverines there, and we have got to capitalize on this.
And that in the offensive line, their thought right there, all right, I got to push these guys back to get Barboza through, but they didn't time it correctly, and that hurt them. So now they're halfway now. They're 5 yards back from the 1st down.
Yeah, one of the tackles on the offensive line just had a huge jump there on the far side of the field. And so it's going to bring up 4th and 6th now. It was 4th and inches. Now it's 4th and 6th. Still doable for this offense, and they're going to go for it. They're not kicking the ball. Back to throw is the quarterback. It's a keeper. He's got room to run, plenty of blocking. He's going into the end zone. That was a 40-yard run by the quarterback, a 40-yard quarterback keeper, as the end was not contained at all. He got a couple of good blocks there, and the Wolverine defense was very porous in the secondary, 8-22.
Yeah, that was hard. They didn't see that coming. They thought their mindset right there, Barbosa's getting it.
Sure, that's what I thought.
And we all thought that. And then, like I said, that could have hurt him, and that's what did it. It hurt him right there.
Because there was no end containment at all, and the secondary is slow to come in. So let's see if they're going to go for 2 again tonight. My guess is they are, because we haven't seen them kick the ball at all for extra points here, and they're not going to kick it either here. The quarterback fumbles the ball and gets pounded.
Ball's still out, and it's going. They got it.
The Wolverines pick up the ball.
Oh, whoa!
And the refs whistle the play dead. It was number 30 for the Wolverines, Devontae Fontaine, with a big hit there. The quarterback fumbled the ball on the snap. Devontae Fontaine got in there, got a hit. The ball came out. Wolverines picked up the ball, but where are they going to spot that? Because the only reason the play stopped was because the ref said, stop playing.
Well, there is no spot because that is now a kickoff because that was their 2-point conversion.
Okay, all right.
So, yeah, so now they're going to do the kickoff. But my question is, who was down on that play?
Nobody.
And why was the ball stopped? Because that's not – the new rule is they run it back. It's a safety. So that –
Interesting.
I don't know what that is now.
All right, do we have Sean here from the sidelines? He's got something for us. Looks like he's got an update for us. Take it away, sir.
Sean Anderson on the sidelines again. Listening to Coach Wilcox on the sidelines, he could not believe that they gave up that same play for Windham 3 times in a row now on 4th down, where the quarterback for Windham rolled to his right and just kept on running and got huge gains every time. He just could not believe it. Back to you guys in the booth.
Observation there by Sean Anderson on the sidelines. New guy calling some stuff for us from the sidelines there. Good observation there that the coach couldn't believe that we fell for that quarterback keeper. We've got Bryce Molesky on the run back, actually is running the ball back, going for the end zone before finally getting hit out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Boy, that was a good effort by Bryce. The offense finally came alive and gave him some blocking that we desperately needed. And you could see Bryce running the whole time, swiveling his head left and right, looking for more blocks, as that was a, 50, 60, 70-yard return by the Wolverines to put the ball on the 10-yard line. We're 2 scores behind, so it's time to stop getting cute and put the ball in the end zone. I'd say give your offensive line a chance to just push the defense into the end zone. We saw our first score of the game tonight was that play, Molesky, where he just put his head down, ran the ball up the middle, and then 2-point conversion. So
yeah, and I mean, if we look at that kickoff squad, the kick return squad. I mean, most of those guys are freshmen, sophomore, juniors, not starters. And for them to get blocks like that, that was some great blocking by them and a great run by Bryce Molesky as well.
Boy, we needed it. So this is huge. In motion is Nathan Yetton. However, the ball goes a different direction. We picked up a couple on that play. Let's see, that was
it's about 2 yards.
Oh, it was Nathan Yetton in motion, and Nathan Yetton did end up with the ball there. Picked up a couple yards on that play.
Now, if we look at, I'm just looking at Windham's sideline right now, comparing them to Griswold's. They don't have a lot of guys.
Nobody over there.
There's not a lot of guys.
No, 8-22. Whippets on top of the Wolverines here, as the Wolverines 2nd and 6, looking to get the ball in the end zone. A first down is a touchdown from the line of scrimmage. Koziel. Here's the call. Here's the snap. Hands the ball off to Bryce Molesky. Going around the end. Bryce Molesky. He gets the ball in the end zone in the front right-hand corner. So we'll take 6 points for the Wolverine there. Good job by Bryce.
Yeah, great block by Nate Yetton out front, too. Had guys coming at him. Nate jumps right in front of him to block him for Bryce. Bryce gets right in there, and Bryce now has both touchdowns for the Wolverines in this game.
Which is interesting because usually Ludi has a score by now, but no points from Ludi. So 2 touchdowns by Bryce Molesky. Runs the ball 6 yards to the front right-hand corner of the end zone. And I'm sure we're going to go for 2 here, and we are from the line of scrimmage. Right up the middle, Bryce Molesky. Tell you what, that's going to be a close one.
He was down. He was down, and he was in.
We're going to take 2 points. That was a close play there as the offense was able to pound along with Bryce Molesky into the end zone there.
And great reach by him as well. I mean, when he went down, he dove down.
He broke the plane.
He broke the plane. He put that ball right out there for him.
It was not the commanding 2-point conversion that he got in the first half of the game, but I'll tell you what, we'll take the 2 points, bringing the score now 16-22. It's a 1-score game, well within the reach of the Wolverines here. I'll tell you what, these Whippets came here to play tonight. Nobody anticipated them putting 22 points on the board. Some of the games that they've had earlier this season have been higher scoring games.
Bryce, just looking at Bryce Molesky, he's limping a little bit on that right foot. So we'll see how that is for the rest of the game. We did know he did have that turf toe earlier this season as well, or a couple weeks ago. But I don't know if that's still affecting him or not. And it looks like that he might have got hurt on one of those plays.
Could be. So maybe he's going to take a breather here. I would be very surprised if we did not see him back in the game tonight. 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter here, so both teams able to score. And as we said, statistically the Wolverines are a third quarter scoring team, and sure enough they did. Nice high kick there by the Wolverines. That's trouble for the Whippets. Bouncing loose. Finally able to contain it deep in their own territory on the 17-yard line. I'll tell you what, that was almost another conversion there.
Yeah, it was a great kick by Yeah, it was a great kick on that one, but it was also interesting. I was watching the line, the kickoff line, and Devon Ludi starts up in front of everybody. So what he did was he lined everybody's behind the ball, and so is Devon, but he's actually lined up a little behind it, not as much as everybody else. So he doesn't get that running start. He wants to break right away, and that helped him right there to get to it because nobody saw it coming because he just snaps right into it, and he timed it perfectly.
Chris Thibodeau with a big 60-yard kick there for the Wolverines. And no surprise, as helmet off there by the Whippets, so someone's going to go to the bench. If my guess is that's Barboza at the bottom of the pile.
Yep.
Bingo. Sure enough. So he's going to go sit down. He carried the ball about 3 or 4 yards on that play. Took the pile with him, as he is wont to do. Chris Thibodeau is doing a nice job tonight on the punts here. And, boy, that was a nice kick and took a good 15, 20-yard Wolverine bounce.
Yeah, it was a nice, and it went right over the returner's head.
Yeah.
The first returner got over him, but then bounced away from the second one, and it was a great kick. Gave them great field position.
Into the wind.
Into the wind, too. So, and that's a big thing, because usually that ball's pushing back, but that one kept going forward.
Yeah, he did a nice job there. End-over-end kick. Working out very well for the Wolverines. Whippets are starting out deep in their own territory. 2nd and 5 for them. Crossing the 20, the 25, out to the 30-yard line. The Whippets get quite the run there as they move the ball forward. Let's see, that was number 2 for the Whippets. Isaiah English picks up a big first down for the Whippets there. Bring the ball out to the 31-yard line. That was a nice run by that young man right there.
And Barbosa coming back in, since he did go out for one play because of the helmet rule, which is if you lose your helmet on the play, you must go out for one play. So that was he did that right there, but it worked well. I mean, they still did move up the ball without him. So we might see some other running threats today.
Here we go. Sure enough, another run to the right-hand side of the ball. And I'm trying to see who's at the bottom of that pile. And sure enough, it was Barboza and on the run there for the Whippets. And Johnny Falco was in on that stop for sure. It looked like he was one of the initial lead tacklers on that play.
We got number 2, Isaiah English. He was came out of that play limping a little bit, so we'll see if that affects him. 'Cause he didn't come off, but he was limping and wasn't holding down.
Another run by the Whippets, looking to get the ball right up the middle there. They move the ball forward. It's going to be real close to another Whippet first down. And they're moving the chains for the Whippets. So the Whippets are able to having a commanding ground game here with this set of downs, moving the ball up about 30, 35 yards from the point where they received it from a Chris Thibodeau Wolverine kickoff. 16-22. Running to the right-hand side of the ball, but number 30 is all over that. Fontaine, big tackle in the backfield for a big loss of about 6 or 7 yards. 2 guys that are doing heavy lifting for the Wolverines tonight on defense. Logan Brown, along with Dane Taylor, lined up there in the tackle position for Wolverine defense. They're in on every play, and they're getting a lot of action tonight with Barboza coming right up the middle.
Yeah, they're getting them. I mean, they're facing them all day, but not only those two, but Zach Tatro as well. He's out there every play, defense, offense. So he's seeing Barbosa a lot tonight.
Here we go. We got Isaiah on the run there, number 2 for the Whippets, but that play was stopped cold after a gain of about 2 yards or so. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 14 or so, I believe, for the Whippets here.
3rd in California.
Yeah, it's about 3. It's 3rd and 7. Looks like a little bit. We got 5 yards, so it might be 3rd and 8.
I don't think so, man. The boards.
Yeah, 1, 2,
take a look.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, but they're behind. It's 3rd and 17 right now. On the throw, that pass was grounded. Nothing going on there. So it's going to bring up 4th and 17 for the Whippets. The down marker is actually 7 yards behind.
Yeah. So we got 4th. I'm wrong.
There we go.
I was counting the first marker. That's why.
I know, but I knew you'd find it.
Yeah, because that one doesn't have the orange triangle on the bottom, so you can't see it.
You can borrow my binoculars. So the Whippets are going to have to kick there. They were able to run the ball pretty successfully, but the Wolverines stopped them. Nice kick here. And, wow, the Wolverines having a hard time catching that ball and just barely able to hang on to it. Hanging on to it.
Down.
I think he was down by contact. The Whippets are hoping to have the ball. But
he was down.
Boy, that was awful. C.J. Matson had a terrible time getting hold of that ball. The ball was kicked over his head. He did not anticipate how far the ball was going to go. and he spent about 5 yards scrambling around on his belly trying to catch and contain the ball. Thankfully, he was able to get possession before it squirted out. He was down by contact, and his knees were on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, he was already laying down and had that ball on the ground, so he can't really fumble the ball since he's already on the ground.
Right.
The ball was laying on the ground as well.
So the Whippets were hoping for something there that did not materialize for them, thankfully. So 1st and 10 from our own 25. The Wolverines take over 16-22. We need the score here to tie the game up. Handing the ball off to Nathan Yetton to the left-hand side of the ball. Barboza in on that tackle. Lead blocker is number 34 for the Wolverines there, trying to make a hole. Michael Sims.
Yeah, that was a great hole. I mean, they've been pushing for that hole too all day. And
Barboza came behind that play and wrapped him up.
Yeah, Barbosa's been pushing real hard today. I mean, defense, offense, he's getting his work in. He's going to be tired by the end of this game.
From the line of scrimmage, it's a handoff to Bryce Molesky, looking for some blocks, doesn't get any. Number 65 for the Whippets stopped that play by wrapping up Molesky.
About 3 yards from the first down.
So let's see, that's Jacob Galinas Reyes stops that play. Molesky had some blocking, but again, the Whippets are coming in from behind the play. They're coming in from behind the box and wrapping up the run plays up the middle. They seem to have that scoped out pretty well here as Koziel takes a snap, hands it off to Devon Ludi. That play is over.
Yeah, that one didn't go as planned.
Barboza wrapped that up. Barboza saw that handoff. That handoff took place right in front of Barboza, and he just stopped the play for a loss on that one.
Yeah, it was. I mean, when he went to go hand it off, he went like he was going to Bryce, but they knew because he turned his whole body, and you can't really do that because you turn your whole body, you're losing time right there for the defense to come at you.
We're kicking the ball away, and we really don't need to be doing that this deep in the third quarter as it's 4th and 5.
Oh.
Koziel on the kick. He kicks the ball directly out of bounds. They're going to get the ball on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, right on the 42, but that was also didn't look like a good kick at all. He tried to boot it, but the spin on it and the connection looked like it didn't do much right there.
No, and I wonder if Koziel kicked it because maybe they were thinking we could try and do a keeper here and convert on a 4th and 5 situation, but they did not. They actually did kick the ball. 16-22, less than a minute remaining in the third quarter as the Wolverines give the ball back to the Whippets, who take over on downs on the Wolverine 42-yard line. Tell you what, I don't think anybody expected the Whippets to come out and play like this tonight.
No, they're pushing right now, and they want this win because they know they win this, state playoffs are gone for the Wolverines.
Yeah.
And I mean, like we said about the punt, it would be really interesting. Andrew Koziel is the punter. Do a fake.
Well, that's why I thought maybe he lined up because maybe we were going to see that there.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they won't. They've seen him punt it now twice.
I know.
You think they're going to catch on and get say, oh, he's going to punt it this time, and then trick him with a fake, but I don't know if we're going to see that.
1 yard gain for the Whippets on the first play for them here, which is going to be the final play of the third quarter right now. No surprise as they run the ball up the middle. I'll tell you what, that's going to come close to stopping the clock because I think they just got a first down. And sure enough, that stops it. Well, they're going to let the clock run, however, so that's going to be the end of the third quarter for the Wolverines and the Whippets. 16-22 here at home in the freezing cold. The fans are huddled up in blankets and their winter gear, sitting on these ice-cold metal bleachers. We're going to have a couple minutes break here. 16-22, Wolverines still trailing. And so beginning of the fourth quarter, it's going to be the Whippets into the wind, 1st and 10 from the Wolverine 32-yard line. You got some mentions for us, Sass?
Yeah, I mean, we are in as we know, the Griswold Pride broadcast booth. And so Griswold Pride and Putnam Pride have been educating Griswold residents for almost 3 years now on the dangers of drugs and alcohol. Through the help of the community leaders and residents, we are all more knowledgeable about these dangers that affect so many people. PRIDE is the partnership to reduce the influence of drugs for everyone. That's Griswold Pride, as we are broadcasting from the Griswold Pride broadcast booth. Also, here's legal issues can be very difficult nowadays. So the legal offices of Stu Norman has helped countless people in our area when it comes to probate, real estate closings, living wills, and much, much more. The law offices of Stu Norman, Slater Avenue, Jewett City. Stu is a GHS alumnus and a former member of the Wolverine football team.
Sean, we've seen some uncharacteristic things tonight that are causing me a little bit of concern.
Yeah.
One of the things I've seen tonight that is just very uncharacteristic is accuracy issues with Koziel, sophomore, but man, he's been a great quarterback this season because when he throws the ball, he hits what he's aiming for, but that has not been the story tonight. The good news is in the third quarter, we minimized the number of turnovers. We had too many turnovers in the first half of the game. We had 3 turnovers, a Zavon Ludi fumble, and then 3 interceptions. Thankfully, we have not seen that return in the third quarter. Here at the top of the fourth, the Wolverines are back on their heels as the Whippets are at the 23-yard line, 2nd and 7 for the Whippets. They're looking to put another score in the end zone. They bring the ball down to the 20-yard line, and I tell you what the Whippets are doing is they're just running the ball up the middle, and our defense is having a hard time stopping the play without letting the Whippets score or gain rather 2 to 4 yards on each carry. And so it's going to bring up 3rd and 7 here.
And this fourth down is, this fourth quarter is crucial. I mean, they keep running the ball, clock's going down, and it's not like they have unlimited timeouts on each team, so they got to use them wisely and see what happens here.
Actually, the Whippets were able to convert on that last run. It was close, but sure enough, it was a first down for the Whippets, so they get 2 5-yard carries at the opening moments of the fourth quarter. 1st and 10 for the Whippets inside the 20-yard line. 16 to 22 right now, which I don't think we're going to see any more surprises from the Whippets. They're going to run the ball up the middle. That seems to be working for them tonight. Another gain of about 3 or 4 yards for the Whippets there. Barbosa, of course, the primary carrier tonight. He's having quite the game against the Wolverines. And part of the problem here, Sean, is when you take away Koziel's effectiveness in throwing the ball, that leaves our running game, and as we've been noting for the past few games, when we're up against a team that we are evenly matched in physicality, which is tonight is the case, we cannot contain the end, but we're also having a hard time running the ball up the middle. And so the Whippets have really shut our offense down, and honestly, I think the weather has done a good job of shutting our offense down at this point. But the wind is at our backs for the fourth quarter. We did see Koziel practicing some short screen passes at the conclusion of the half. Let's see if he comes back out with that here in a few moments. 2 minutes have already been taken off the clock by the Whippet offense as the ball is now inside the 15-yard line. 3rd and 3 for the Whippets. They are grounding and pounding away the clock. 16 to 22. Now, what's interesting about this offensive effort by the Whippets, as they're grinding away on the clock, this could really come back and bite them if the Wolverines come back and tie this ball game right back up. So
yeah, and Barbosa actually on that play it got up slow. He's actually been limping back to the huddle a couple times now. Keep in mind he was hurt earlier this season, so that could be coming back to him. We don't know what particularly that injury was, if that was a leg injury or something else. But right now it looks like one of his legs is giving out on him.
He has been carrying the offense, but we have seen some other performers tonight from the Whippets. 16 to 22, 9 minutes. They only need a yard to convert first down here. The refs come out at the end of that play, and let's see what they signal. Clock is stopped at just under 9 minutes remaining.
Oh, first down.
Whippets are able to convert, which is going to give them first and goal, basically. So this is going to be this next possession. Well, what happens here and this next possession for the Wolverines is going to be huge. We need to stop the ball here, and then we need to get the ball down to the end zone and tie this ball game up. What's interesting is it's only a one-score game, but the momentum has never really been with the Wolverines tonight at all, even though we got off to a great start where we did get a couple of turnovers that went our way, but we were not able to capitalize on those. We did get in the end zone twice with Bryce Molesky.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough game weather-wise, but it looks like the team's slowing down, and it's hard for them right now. And I mean, they need to, if they want to win this game, they're gonna have to pick it up. I mean, you do have 8 minutes left with a 10-point game right now, so they're definitely gonna have to pick it up if they want this.
Oh, it's an 8-point game.
Oh yeah.
2nd and 7 for the Whippets as they're looking to get around the end. The play is finally ended by Devon Ludy at the goal line.
It looks like Nate Yetton's yelling over to the sidelines.
And so that was a huge stop there by Devon Ludy because the Whippets did something different there, which is they went back to a form of offense that we use against larger teams that has not been working for us tonight, which is they ran around the end and had some containment. And if Devon had not stepped up big and made a 1-yard stop on that play, that would have been another touchdown. Instead, it brings up 3rd and 1 from the 1 for the Whippets. Folks, this is a true goal line stand. We need to stop the ball here. Oh, the running back slips in the backfield, and we're able to capitalize on that and end that play for a loss of a couple of yards. It's going to bring up 4th and 2 or 3.
So they need this right now. They need to make this stop. I mean, yeah, they can't get the first down, but you can't give up the touchdown. And they just need a stop before the end zone and then play offense as well as they've been playing the rest of this season as well.
Crowd's getting into the game here. We're stomping on the bleachers because, honestly, we have not seen any cleat slippage tonight at all. Last week we saw a ton of it because it was warm and wet. Tonight, there's been good traction, but I tell you what, the Whippets slipped on that play, and the Wolverines were able to jump on it and end it. 6.5 minutes remaining in the game, 16-22. Timeout is called on the field as the Whippets want to make sure they get this right, because I think they feel that if they get the ball in the end zone right now, that this game is theirs, and that means the state playoff possibility for the Wolverines is over, and so they do not want any miscues on this play. I tell you what, that was a huge break on that last defensive effort. The boys got in there. The running back slipped in the backfield, and they pounced on him. Loss of about 1.5 yards on that play. So 4th and 2 for the Whippets here. 6.5 minutes remaining, 16-22. We need to make a stop here, like you're saying, Sass, and then we need a big punt return. No more cute watching the ball bounce around the ground.
I mean, they might not even. I mean, we do have 4th down right now, so. I mean, if they're going for it still, yeah, they probably most likely are. So, if they stop them right where they are right now, they're gonna have to go all the way back.
All the way, so there won't be a possibility of a punt unless there's a score here. So the boys are back on the field. This is going to be a run right up the middle. I don't think anything cute's going to happen right here. Sure enough, Barbosa up the middle and in the end zone. Another touchdown for the Whippets. They were not even cute.
Nope.
They've had some good success tonight with running the ball right up the middle, and they pushed the pile to the left, and Barbosa ran to the right, and he was touched, but that's all he was. So 16-28 right now is the score. Wolverines are going to need 2 scores in the final 6.5 minutes of the game to tie it. Let's see if they go for 2 again. I'm sure they will, because they're just going to run the ball right up the middle like they've been doing all night. Sure enough, that's the play.
And there it is. Oh, that maybe stop.
It looks like the Wolverines might have stopped that conversion.
No.
And the refs are saying no good. So no 2-point conversion for the Whippets. So the score is going to remain 16-28. Wolverines need to come up with 2 touchdowns and some extra points here in order to tie this game up. They've got 6.5 minutes to do it. We have an update here from the sideline. Let's cue him up here and see what he's got to say.
Sean Anderson on the sidelines again. On that last play, you could feel the change in atmosphere on the Griswold sideline and just the change from excitement to complete silence. But there's still plenty of time left. And on that 2-point conversion and also the touchdown, they ran the same play twice, and they had an extra offensive lineman in the backfield acting as a fullback. Back to you in the booth.
Sir? So a little change in the atmosphere on the sideline as the Wolverines realize they have to score twice now. They've only been able to score twice so far in the whole game. They scored in the first quarter and they scored in the third. Had a couple of opportunities, but I tell you, Sean, I'm telling you right now, what the deal is those first half turnovers are going to haunt these guys.
Yeah, those 3 interceptions and that fumble really, I mean, that hurt them, and that showed. I mean, if that pick six didn't happen, this would be a 22-16 game.
Yeah. And when you only have the ball 4 times in the average quarter and you give the ball 4 times away in the first half, it's almost like you give the ball for an extra quarter of offensive effort in the first 24 minutes of the game. And that's hard. And the Windham, to their credit, was able to capitalize on it. Number 7 picks up the kick here. It was a squib kick, makes it across the line of scrimmage. Still up, still fighting. But the ball is going to be marked down around the Wolverine 42-yard line. That was Zachary Tatro who was able to haul that line drive kick in. And he had some blocking, and he just refused to go down. But all that he managed to do was not much forward progress, but he did take some time off the clock.
And Zach Tatro, another guy, I mean, all game has been on the field.
Yeah.
Has not come off. So there's something he's doing. He's working hard out there. He's playing his best. He does not quit. And, I mean, I've talked to him about that this year. He does not quit no matter how long he's on that field.
Koziel from the shotgun. We're going to see some bingo here. 1st and 10 for the Wolverines from their own 42-yard line. Koziel looking to throw. Sure enough, he does. He hits Molesky for a quick – I'm sorry, Nathan Yetton. Nathan was hoping for some more blocking to turn the ball upfield. Basically got a yard on that play. Good news is it only took a few seconds off the clock.
So we do have a high school football update out of this one. Fitch 20-7 over East Lyme right now after an 88-yard touchdown run by Pedro Mojica.
Fitch over East Lyme tonight. Here's the snap from the shotgun. Back to throw again. It's Koziel rolling to his right, throwing to his right. He has Nathan Yetton again, who's able to pick up a few more yards on that play.
There it is. There's that pass we've been looking for.
We've been looking for it.
That light pass that is right to the wide open man, and it's working.
Because you know what hasn't been working? Running up the middle or containing the end.
Yeah,
and we've been intercepting the long throws. So what do we leave? That leaves screen passes. That's all that we have left to try tonight.
Yeah, not even just screen, but the screen bullet passes too, because we saw the screen lob pass, and that one got returned for a pick 6.
3rd and 3 from our 49, back in the shotgun. Here we go. We're going to start throwing the ball, folks. We're going to put some points on the field here real quick. Back to throw, going deep this time into heavy territory. Incomplete pass, looking for Zach Tatro down the field.
And that was a risky throw, actually, because he was
well covered.
Yeah, Zach Tatro was double teamed on that one with 2 guys one guy on each side of him. So that was an interesting play, pass decision by Andrew Koziel when he did have a couple guys short, and that deep ball, like we said, hasn't been working all day.
No,
all night. I mean, so he's to go back at it was very interesting.
It was a gutsy call, and Wolverine coach wants to talk about it here, I guess. So 4th and 3 for the Wolverines as they call a timeout here. 16-28. We need 2 scores with 4.5 minutes remaining in the ball game. I tell you what, some of these Wolverine fans, we just got to give a shout out to these guys. It is, with the wind chill, it is in the teens right now. And, boy, these guys are faithful, and they're here, and they're cheering the guys on. Because here in the press box, where there is no wind chill, it's still chilly. But I tell you what, these guys, they are hanging out tough tonight, watching these guys play this ball game. The field is not frozen, but I think everybody else is.
Yeah, and I mean, we think about that too. All the guys' feet all the guys that aren't moving right now, their feet are probably cold, and when they get cold to go back in, that affects them a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I got a call this afternoon because we've got a cleanup day scheduled for the church, River Church, at our property in Jewett City. And it's like, hey, you going to delay the cleanup day time because it's so cold? I was like, no. No. We're going to go out there and we're going to cut stuff down. It's going to be great.
Rather do it now than in snow.
Absolutely. Up the middle for a first down. The Wolverines are able to convert. Still got some room to run. Bryce Molesky on one of the most important plays of the fourth down of the fourth quarter for the Wolverines here.
He's been doing a lot today. He has both their touchdowns, and he has a giant run gain that, like you just said, they needed that. I mean, now the first down is at the 25 and
34. Yep.
Yep. So that first one, they got to get to the 25 now, and that just gets him closer and closer.
Absolutely. He's been looking for that blocking all game long. He finally got it. Back to throws. Koziel has some time. Keeper up the middle, running into heavy coverage, dodging, gets out of bounds, gains about 4 yards on that play.
And good idea for him to run out of bounds. I mean, he was going straight up the middle. Then he saw an opening on the left and kept going. And not only that, but he had the ball in his right hand and switched it over to his left so that they couldn't hit his arm to pop it out, which was another good move by Andrew Koziel.
See, and this is the Koziel that we've seen all season, where he's smart. He does not throw interceptions. He does not throw the ball away. Sometimes we wish he would throw the ball away. He'd rather take a sack than throw the ball away because he has been so paranoid about interceptions. But it kind of feels like Koziel is back. The question is, with 4 minutes remaining in the game, is he going to have enough time to get us in the end zone twice? High snap, back to throw. Koziel running to his right. Keeper in trouble.
Oh,
boy, that looked like a big face mask there. What a silly play by the Whippets. I believe that was number 65 on the Whippets. It wasn't even cute.
That was
Jacob Galinas Reyes.
He took him right by the helmet and took him to the ground.
That was just silly because there's no reason for that. They've got a 2-point or 2-score lead here,
and that's moving. That's a first down. That's a first down.
That's going to move the chains for the Wolverines, give them the best field position that they've had of the half. The ball is now spotted in Whippet territory on the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. 4 minutes remaining in the game. We need 2 touchdowns, which means we need to score, and then we need to have a turnover and get the ball back and score again. What
the offense is a little confused.
Silly defensive play there by the Whippets. No reason for that whatsoever. They've been in charge of this game the whole time. I don't know what that was about. Back to throws Koziel. There's a flag on the play, but play continues. Koziel looking for the end zone, and he picks up. He was looking for Nathan Yetton, I believe, but Nathan got a big hit, slow to get up. Nope, that was C.J. Matson, sorry. So it was an incomplete pass. He was wide open in the end zone, not able to hang on to the ball. He's up and running and gesturing that he's okay, but he took a big hit there. I'm not sure what that flag was earlier. If it was...
looks like we're backing up.
I wonder if we jumped. That was the most open I've seen a Wolverine receiver all night long.
It was a good pass by him too. It was like he saw CJ. He said, "All right, I'm gonna go right to CJ," but CJ just got hit. But we also had that flag, so it did back them up.
It was a legal formation is the call. Like you said, Sean, our offense was a little scrambled on that play, and that cost us 5 yards. So 1st and 15 for Griswold from the 25 in Whippet territory. Back to throw again. Koziel looking to his left, scrambling to his left, under pressure, gets the ball away. It's a bullet pass, picked up by Devon Ludy, who says yes.
Great pass.
Beautiful pass it was a low and away fastball that Devon Ludy scooped up and ran into the end zone. We'll take 6 points for that, people.
Great pass and great reception by Devon Ludy with that catch low, right below his belt. He had to bend over a little bit to catch it, but once he caught it, he didn't stop at all, kept going, and got them the touchdown with, like you just said, 3:37 left.
22-28. So obviously, let's see what they're going to do. If they're going to go for 2 or
we're going
1.
for 2.
It's nice to see Devon back in the action. It's been a quiet night for Devon Ludy, other than the fumble in the second quarter, which was painful to watch. He never fumbles the ball. Up the middle.
And now he's in.
And Devon Ludy runs that ball in for 2 points. So, hey, we're back in the game now, 24-28. It's a 4-point ball game here with 3.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
But
finally.
If they did what they did, that first kickoff right now with that onside kick,
yes,
it's our ball again with that time. And
One way or the other, we need a turnover here.
Yeah, and E-Dog's going out there to do that onside kick. And we talked to him, to his brother and him, and he said they've been working on it.
Yeah.
He's been working on that, and it showed that first kickoff of the game.
It was like a ninja.
And it was a great kick, and they jumped right on it.
That ball went 9 7/8 yards on that initial kick of the game, hit a whippet who tried to catch it, couldn't catch it, and then the Wolverines recovered. We weren't able to score, but boy, we got off to a strong start, and I thought, oh, here we go. You know, we're up against a team that's 1-6. They can't even catch a football. This is going to be a blowout for the Wolverines, but I tell you what, it's been all whippets with the Wolverines just never able to tie the ball game, able to come within 6 points a few times tonight, 8 points a few times tonight. It's actually the closest the ball game has ever been is right now, 24-28.
Oh, and they got it!
And the Wolverines pull off the onside kick, and they're celebrating, saying that they came up with the ball. Let's see if the refs agree. It's at midfield. It's at the 50-yard line. Boy, a lot of conversation going on there right now. This is a huge decision. It was an onside kick. It went to 10 yards. The Whippets are celebrating now.
Oh, wait. They're talking about it again? Where was the flag?
Oh, see, what we're hearing from the field now is possibly the Wolverines were offside on the kick. And so all of this is for nothing. We're going to do it again. All right. Well, boy, it was hard to tell which way that was going. E-Dog, was that E-Dog on the kick?
No, that was Bryce Molesky on that kick.
Bryce Molesky on the kick. All right.
Now that backs up, though.
It's going to back it up, but the wind's at their back. Let's see if they actually kick the ball or try it again. I'll tell you what, though, what a great attempt at trying to force a conversion here, force a turnover, which we desperately need, 24-28. We need a touchdown. We got 3.5 minutes. We just need the ball. So I'm sure that the Wolverine sideline is getting jazzed up a little bit here, as it looks like Molesky is back for the kick now. Yeah. Bryce is going to kick the ball this time from our 35-yard line. Let's see what he does. It's another onside kick, which is caught by the Whippets. That ball was a line drive that number 57 just sucked right up at the 46-yard line. Let's see. I got the number, but he's not on the roster. I'm sorry, 57. Fasil Khan made a big play there. I think Bryce was hoping to get a bounce in there, but he didn't.
You just gave a line drive right to him.
He gave it a line drive.
But here we go. The run game. They got to stop it.
Not only do you have to stop it, they got to strip it. It's got to be a quick 3-and-out, or it's got to be a strip here.
Wait, ref. I don't know what this is.
There's some more conversation going on the field. Right now the ball is spotted in Wolverine territory, 4 yards to the right of midfield. The Whippets right now have 46 yards to go to their end zone. And it'll be kind of interesting to see how aggressive they play, if they're going to try and burn 3.5 minutes off the clock, or if they're going to try and score and ice the game that way.
I don't know what we're waiting for. The ref's talking to the Griswold players. I don't know.
No flags, just lots of talking going on. 3 minutes, 36 remaining.
I don't understand.
1st and 10 for the Whippets from the Wolverine 46. Okay, I see side judges.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Side judges are wrestling with the field chains on the first down marker, so somehow they got kerfluffled over there. So I guess they're sorting out the chains on the far side of the field.
It's a real tangled mess over there.
I guess so.
It's a real.
At this point in the game, nobody's fingers are working, I'm sure. So, well, we need to see the defense come up with a big stop here, and preferably a turnover.
Oh, we thought Griswold had that ball, but we did have the offsides, which was unfortunate. And then next kick is a line drive right at him. So, but Windham learned though, because they lined up correctly right on that.
Boy, I'll tell you what, they're really having a time of it. I don't know how you mess up the field chains that bad, but whatever they did it thoroughly.
Oh, are we back?
I think they just took the chains off of the. Okay, looks like we're back in action now. The boys are coming back to the line of scrimmage. The squads are lining up here. 1st and 10, Windham from our 46-yard line. Little motion on the defense, no flag. And that play is only going to get about a yard. We did, there was a little motion on the defense, but apparently it did not go into the neutral zone. And so the ball moves forward about a yard. They're giving them 2 yards. 2nd and 8 here for the Windham Whippets. (24-28) here with less than 3 minutes remaining in the game as the Whippets continue to run the ball right up the middle of the field. If we do get a chance to talk to some of the players after the game tonight, we'll just send we'll send our man down to talk to him using the microphone there. Because it is so cold, we don't want to hang up these boys too much. I'm sure they're going to want to head inside and warm up. Timeout called here. 24-28. It's nice to see Koziel back in the game. He had a rough start, actually the worst start of the season, with 3 interceptions tonight. Devon Ludy had a fumble that led to an interception tonight. We never see that. Very, very costly first half for us. However, we were able to keep the game within 1 score. We were never behind by more than 8 until the second half of the game. We were behind by 14 points. We brought it back within 4. Wolverines are trailing the Whippets by 4 points right now.
There we go. Important 2 stops right here they need.
Right now it's 3rd and 7 from the Wolverine 43-yard line. Defense is back on the field. Here comes the offense. So far the offense has only taken about 20 seconds off the clock with these first few plays. From the line of scrimmage, 2 in the backfield, fakes a handoff. Quarterback is keeping on to it and is going to get sacked for a loss. Number 7, number 30. Let's see, so Zach Tatro and Devontae Fontaine with a big stop there. 4th and 7 now.
And timeout.
Another timeout is called because the last thing the Whippets want to do is give the ball to the Wolverines right around midfield with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. So we're going to take a quick 30 or 60 second break and we'll be back with the concluding 2 minutes of this game. Don't go anywhere. Wolverines 24, Whippets 28. Because they're going to be back out here in a second. Yeah, doing the on-field interviews saves so much time. It adds 20 minutes to our day trying to get a boy up here.
No. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Wolverine fans. Wolverines 24, Whippets 28, as the Whippets are forced to punt the ball away with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Big, high-skying punt that hits the helmet of the Whippets, picked up by the Wolverines, run for about 4 yards and brought down.
Flag in the
at
backfield.
the 34-yard line. There is a flag on the play.
It's going to be roughing the kicker.
Oh, no.
But he was, I do agree with Molesky arguing this call because he did go for the block. And he was right there when the ball was kicked. Well, we're going to see.
Let's see. You know, it's such a tough call because they want to encourage these boys to play safe, you know, to not spear, to not rough the kickers, to not go after quarterbacks and hurt people when they're stretched out. But let's see where the call goes, because right now the Wolverines will get the ball on their own 35-yard line with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. Sure enough, roughing the kicker. Well, they're calling it running into the kicker, which I don't know if that's different from roughing the kicker or not.
Same. But we're going to get another punt.
Oh, well, so the Whippets are going to get a chance to punt this ball again. The kicker's kicking the ball from the 50-yard line. Deep punt Back to catch the ball. Cannot come up with it. Ball is loose. The Whippets are saying they recovered it on the kick. Oh, my goodness. We needed to catch that ball, and we did not. I believe it was Nathan Yetton back to catch that ball. Or no, I'm sorry. It might have been C.J. Matson. And it's a Whippet ball.
So Plainfield's score is Killingly up 35-0 with 4:32 left in the game.
Well, this is a heartbreak here at 211 Slater Ave because right now the Whippets get 4 more downs here from the 17-yard line. Oh, my goodness. Nightmare scenario because we were going to get the ball back with enough time to put the ball in the end zone and seal this game and come up with a late time score. But now the Whippets are just going to have a chance to run the clock and maintain their 4-point lead. Oh, my goodness. So Bryce Molesky attempting to block the kick was called for roughing the kicker, running into the kicker. And that meant that there was another attempt by the Whippets to punt the ball away after a 5-yard penalty was assessed. And it's too cold to catch the ball, and we could not catch the ball. Another painful turnover by the Wolverines here.
That's a flag.
Flag on the play. Another run up the middle as we have a minute and a half remaining in the game. The call is going to go against the Whippets, but honestly it's a moot point right now because it's all about the clock. And if we're on defense right now, we're going to have a hard time putting 4 points on the board unless we're able to strip the ball and run it all the way back.
This is there goes the state playoffs for them too, and that's really something they were looking forward to. And now their focus, Plainfield.
Nobody anticipated a loss tonight against the Whippets, who came into this game 1-6. But honestly, the Wolverines just looked stymied, and the name of the game tonight has been costly turnovers.
Yeah. 3
costly turnovers in the first half, and then a painful turnover right now. 3rd and 7 for the Whippets from Wolverine territory here at the 15-yard line. Looks like the Wolverines have just called a timeout.
No, we have none left, but that was Windham.
Oh, Windham called a timeout. So 24-28. Oh, man, we had a chance right there to get the ball back with 2.5 minutes. We would have been right around the 40-yard line, would have needed to drive the ball 60 yards. But the way Koziel came out in the fourth quarter and started throwing the ball, that was definitely doable.
It was,
but we had to return the kick. And boy, we just did not.
Yeah, and it took once it hit CJ's hands, it went right forward.
Well, it hit him in the numbers.
Yeah, it hit him right in and we've seen that before too with Bryce Molesky, because that one we had that one go right through his arms.
Yep.
So
I'm sure everybody's numb tonight. Honestly, that we would have been better off just letting the ball roll and bounce and stop and march down the field 80 yards than handing the ball over with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game. The Whippets have managed to take a minute off the clock since gaining possession. 3rd and 7 for the Whippets here. Running the ball up the middle, no big surprise. Oh, actually, the quarterback held on to it and was lost on that play for the Whippets. Good defensive effort there by the Wolverines. Going to bring up 4th and probably about 10 or so. So who knows what's going to happen here, Sean. It looks like the Whippets are going to have to... Well, they're not going to kick the ball away. They're going to hang on to it.
Yep.
There's no sense in kicking it from the 20-yard line, so...
No, letting that clock go, too. And the quarterback's way over on the side, so you know.
Yeah. Minute remaining in the game as the clock continues to tick, 24-28. Wolverines had a chance to get the ball with 2.5 minutes remaining in the game and march down the field about 55 yards. We're not able to capitalize on the punt. 4th and 10 here for the Whippets. Quarterback hanging onto the ball, running around the end, and it's going to be tackled and forced out of bounds, short of the first down. So the Wolverines, with 41 seconds remaining in the game, are going to take over on downs from their own 17-yard line.
With no timeouts on their side, they have to get out of bounds no matter what. They have to get out of bounds or score.
If I see them do a run play, I'm just going to scream. I'm going to yell. I don't swear, so that's not going to happen, but I'm going to stomp my little feet and scream because they need to throw the ball, like you said, Sean. They need to throw the ball, stop the clock, get out of bounds because they've got 86 yards to cover. Sure enough, it's a throw down the middle looking for Zachary Tatro. Incomplete pass, 35 seconds remaining in the game.
That was a risky pass right there. Number 45 was right there.
He overthrew Zach. Zach was not underneath that ball. 24-28. We need 4 points. We've got 87 yards to cover.
This is everybody's right now is watching, staying. Everybody's about
Deep
to
coverage.
leave, but now we're waiting.
Deep coverage. Back to throw from the shotgun, looking to his left-hand side. He had Zach Tatro, but Zach unable to hang on to the ball. That would have been a 10 to 12-yard gain.
They might have to go deep here.
Would have been close to would have been a first down there, but Zach unable to bring the ball down. Third down, 30 seconds remaining in the game.
They might have to go deep here. This is third down. They haven't moved at all. Fourth down, if they don't move at all, well.
From the shotgun, 2 wide receivers. Only one in the backfield for the Wolverines. Back to throw is Koziel scrambling and running. He has time. He completes the pass. Ball's on the right-hand side of the field. It's Bryce Molesky scrambling to try and get out of bounds. I don't think he got out of – well, the clock stopped, so –
that's just for the chains. That is just for the change, but they are going no huddle.
They're going no huddle.
They're going to spike. They're going to spike, it looks like.
So it was a first down for sure. That's right. They only stopped the clock to get the chains repositioned. 19 seconds remaining in the game. Bryce was not able to get out of bounds. Nice catch there with about a 10-yard run at the end. Brings the ball out to the 35-yard line, 36-yard line. Still in Wolverine territory. They've got time for one, maybe 2 plays if they do it well.
Yep, this is we're definitely going to see a pass here. Unless we decide we want to run the ball, which I would hope that's not the decision.
No, he's lining up in the shotgun, signaling to Zach Tatro. Tatro in motion, running to the far side of the field, calling for the snap, has the ball, has a little bit of time. Big throw to the left-hand side, looking for Devon Ludy. The ball was picked, not intercepted, but it was touched by the Whippets. So it's going to stop the clock with 13 seconds remaining in the game. That ball was nowhere near Devon Ludy.
No, that was way over. I mean, if that was picked off, game over. And
this is probably going to be the last play of the game here. 3rd and 10 from the Wolverine 35-yard line. We need 4 points to score. We've had so many missed opportunities. We're having one last chance here. This is probably it. From the shotgun, looking to his right, scrambling to his left, throwing big to his left, and he underthrows Devon Ludy, who is not able to stretch and catch the ball. 6 seconds remaining in the game. This is the final play of the game for sure. It's going to bring up 4th and 10. Honestly, Sean, it looked like, I hate to say this, but I think Devon could have caught that ball.
Yeah, it definitely looked like he could have. And if he caught it and got pushed out, that stops the clock. And they're closer to the end zone. But now they're still where they started, at the line of about the 44, it looks like. No, I'm going
they're at the 36.
I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah,
36.
Devon didn't even go into the huddle that time, which tells me they're just going to run the same play. He's staying lined up as a wide receiver. Zach Tatro on the far side of the field lined up as a wide receiver. 6 seconds remaining in the game. Here's the snap with a little bit of time. Big throw, sure enough, looking for Devon Ludy down the left-hand side. Underthrown, incomplete. That's the ball game, folks. 24-28. The Wolverines come up 4 points short. I'll tell you what, the Whippets right now are celebrating and dancing on the field. It's only their second victory of the year. And I'll tell you right now, Sean, I did not see them picking up their second W here at home on senior night against a 6-2, now 6-3 Wolverine squad. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to see if we can talk to possibly Bryce Molesky here for just a couple of minutes. 24-28, a heartbreaking loss here at home in the cold at 211 Slater Avenue as the Wolverines come up 4 points short against the Whippets. The big story of the game, besides the cold, which everybody knows you just have to deal with, was the interceptions and turnovers. More than I can count right off the top of my head. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the concluding coverage of our loss here tonight. Whippets on top of the Wolverines, 28-24. Join us for concluding coverage of tonight's game right here on Wolverine Radio.